This is the Date Night Dice Podcast, a podcast mostly about board games.
Probably not.
Hello and welcome to episode number 38 of the Date Night Dice Podcast. I'm Ben.
I'm Em.
And I'm Ken.
Welcome to the show, everybody. On tonight's show, we're going to talk about some board games we've been playing, some video games we've been playing. We're going to answer some Instagram questions, talk about some shows we've been watching, and maybe I even snuck a question in there for everybody. And of course, at the end, as always, we will have a Would You Rather.
I need to make sure I have my Would You Rather.
Joining us tonight is the Joycey Devil.
Excellent pronunciation.
That was really well.
For anybody who missed our last Gloomhaven stream, which is everybody, I'm assuming, it devolved into just watching an episode of the X-Files that Ken recorded on his phone while he was watching it on his TV. So,
yep,
Just how
go
I
find
like
that.
to watch it.
It's in the last quarter of that Gloomhaven play. It sort of goes off the rails. Both
I think
in
it
terms
is
of
like past 2 hours.
gameplay
Yeah.
and discussion. Just gets a little hectic, but it's fun.
it does. I went through and put some chapters in
did
there.
you?
I think I named
Nice.
one of the chapters the Jersey Devil. So
Perfect. Good.
you could skip right to it if you don't want to watch us play Gloomhaven.
It's like 2 hours in, though, right?
Yeah, it's like the 2 hour 20 mark. That was a
very far
long
in.
stream.
Yeah.
Because you told me, you were like, we should put chapters. And I said, I'm not going to watch
Yeah.
that much of it.
Have fun.
I have
I thought maybe 30 minutes in. I didn't realize it was over 2 hours. So
Is there a
I think
button
I've gone
you can
in and
press
put-
to like bookmark it?
It's very
That would
easy.
be-
So you just go in the description when you upload a video. Go in the description, and as long as you start with 00:00 and write something, then it'll put chapters in. So you just sort of
you can click on it.
you don't even have to like say I want to do chapters. You just like literally type it out in the description, and YouTube is automatically. Does
Oh,
it.
wow. Okay. That's not
Yeah.
bad. You still got to listen to it, though. I guess I always just
Yeah.
assumed that was an algorithm-based thing where they're like, well, you're talking about a Jersey Devil a lot. There's probably, and then you
That would
have
be
to
nice.
pick they'll do it eventually.
If anybody's watching this, I am using my new Wheel of Time Dragon Reborn tankard that Emily got me for Christmas. So thank you,
Very
Emily.
cool.
Finally
I
came.
like that.
I
Took a
can't
while,
stop
but-
using it. I'm really enjoying it.
Based off the books. It's from the books.
Right.
Yeah.
It's mentioned in the
Not
books.
the show.
Not the show.
Only the books.
Yeah.
I need to get the
It is
other ones
literally
now.
based off of the books because it is the picture that is shown at the chapter headings for when Rand is going to be the POV character.
Well,
Cool.
POV.
Wow.
Yeah, we need to get the
It's pretty intense.
Matt and Perrin ones now.
Yeah, what's Matt's? The dice?
Matt is 3 dice, and Perrin is a wolf.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I've seen them a lot
I mean,
of
of
times.
some sort. I don't know exactly, but
Yeah, there's always, you could tell who is going to be the main POV character because of the little picture at the beginning of the chapter.
Yeah, you got me. Could have fooled me. Is it a ceramic mug?
It is. It was handmade.
it's like
I believe.
it's like a handmade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So,
Tankard.
turned
I'm going to have to get
Good.
another beer just so I can keep using it, actually.
You got to have the foam. We want to see foam out the top.
Yeah.
It does tend to foam a lot more than a pint
It's because
glass
it's
does.
tapered up rather than tapered
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, we have Ken, the beer expert, here with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
so-
would know.
That's for aroma and head. That's why
Ooh,
IPA glasses do that nice
do the
juicy bump. You got to push it up. So what's because you tighten the cross section through which the pressurized fluid's flowing,
Okay.
right? And then it opens up, and you get
like
a
a
nice little
So it
Push-up bra
collects in
for
the
beer.
little bubble area.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
a good idea.
There is science behind it.
The more you
believe it or
know.
not.
Wow, that's a really good idea.
Wow,
Really
cool,
excellent
Ken.
idea.
Why don't you take a seat for a minute? You back off.
Man, I got
do
a
you have a
text the other
brewery or
day from
something?
Ken And it said, because there was a video that came along with it, but the video took a lot longer to come. So I was like, I had my phone next to me. It pings. I have a message. It says,
What are you
local
talking
freakazoid
about?
knows no limits.
I didn't know what you were gonna say either.
I didn't know like that. I was like, that's all it said. There was
For
no
a
video
good
attached
minute
or
or
anything.
two or what?
Yeah, for like 30 seconds, and I was like, what?
Just that's it.
But here's what's funny is I knew exactly what it meant. I was like, I bet there's a video coming. And then I saw the video, and it was you with every contraption I could possibly imagine having hooked up to yourself, making your
it was very like I Shrunk the Kids, but he
yeah.
built a workout machine, like very.
It was so good. It was like the belt squat of the century. I really enjoyed that video so much.
We should
It's
probably
coming
post
again.
that.
The sequel's coming back. Don't
There we
worry.
go.
It's so hard to position yourself for that though, because the way the belt squat moves, the weight moves out in front of you and then into you when you're down low, right?
Oh man.
Can you?
Are you gonna try to bring it?
I'm
up?
gonna bring it into the.
Wait, you gotta be careful what you pop up on the
Yeah,
screen.
right.
here.
Will
Right.
for anybody who's
I
watching
send a
this
lot
on
of
video,
videos to him, and some of them are not.
and not stream
Not appropriate.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, I'm
How
just
do you
gonna
get
do this, and then sorry for anybody on audio here. Just bear with me for one moment while I bring this in.
I
There
can't
we
remember
go.
if
Okay.
my feet were too far
Here we-
forward.
Whoa!
This
I love the 2x4 you're holding.
local
Right.
freakazoid knows no limits. Look at this. This is excellent.
We don't have the
just
audio,
for
though,
just
to
for
go with
clarity
it.
here, people not listening,
Yeah.
there's 225 pounds, there's 325 pounds on it, and then there's
Shit.
dumbbells hooked to workout bands strapped to the same device. So the amount of weight being moved is incalculable. You just cannot determine what it
It's-
is.
And then
What it
is
is,
the 2x4
though-
so you can stop doing that?
It's to
Is
put
that-
it under the arm so that I don't have to sit on the floor to get out.
So he
from
can
underneath
get
it.
out of the
But
contraption.
the fact that you have to hold it and the whole time
Yeah, you
you're
have
kind of
to hold it,
flinging
right?
it through the air, in your face.
Well,
And
if you look too, so there is 225 pounds in what I would consider standard weight plates. There is a 100-pound sandbag resting atop those.
kind
that
of
you're-
rolling
it's
around,
rolling
actually.
around.
That's
It's
the one.
legit.
That one,
rolling around.
it rolls towards you as you squat. Like if you went into the bottom of a squat and somebody gently put 100 pounds into your stomach, it's
Yeah,
not
that
good.
while holding
Doesn't
the
work.
2x4 is really good.
But just trying to
Oh,
get
man.
creative, just trying to get wild in there. Do some
I-
wild
Make it
stuff.
bigger.
I tell you what, I think it's working. You timed it right.
Seems like it.
I jumped the gun on this whole powerlifting thing.
Ben's getting
I think
weaker by the day.
I think my body was peaked
Peaked.
right before I got sick around the holidays, and I'm just trying to stay where I was at. I think like deadlift, I think I've gone down a little bit just because you get tired, right? You need like a
Yeah.
break,
Yeah.
and
I agree.
you are just on this trajectory, man. Like,
But no, I can feel it plateauing already.
that's where
'Cause
I'm
I
at
did
right
the-
now.
I did the same thing last year when we were coming up to the weightlifting meet. I was so over it that I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to do anything except just get it over with. And now,
Yeah.
now I'm excited to. I've already got what I'm doing next planned out, which last time we finished and I didn't work out for like 2 months straight, I think, and it showed afterwards. And then now I'm like, oh, I'm ready to not do this and just run or something. So we'll see.
I know I'm ready. I've been on the bike a lot lately. It's cold. I've been on the Peloton.
It's been really cool.
And I do
It's in
think
the
that's hurting my
basement, though, right?
weightlifting. It's down in the basement, so I haven't been on my actual bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this past week it's like I'll do like the big lift for the workout, and I'll be like, I could just go bike for the rest.
Yep. And that's what I've been doing. If I do squats, I'll do squats and then I'll go run on the treadmill. And that's it. It's
Yeah.
about 15 minutes on each, 20 minutes on each. That's it.
Well, it's
'Cause,
that
like,
time, right? It's the taper. Like,
colder
however
than
strong. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
However strong
Yeah.
you were gonna get, you got. That's it. We're out of time.
Yeah.
Now we just got to rest up for for the competition.
The circus, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Are you going to go
what's
live for it?
I have no idea what we're going to do because typically we play music.
Yeah, we'll get shut down right away.
We could be playing different music, I guess, on each end, and then somehow stream
Or like
just our
mute it
mics.
and just, can you just put captions on? I don't know,
I
we'll
should
figure this out
look-
later.
Yeah, I should look at what I did last year because I did compilations of everybody's, and then I did upload the whole thing, and it got struck, and it's private somewhere. But
I think you did a screen. You just did a screen capture, right, of the Discord.
yeah,
that we had?
just F9, just the NVIDIA screen record. Yeah,
I wonder if the music in the
Get rid of the
stream,
music.
because see, when we did it, the music in the stream was going into the stream. We were using Rhythmbot in Discord, so it sounded
That's
like
true.
it was like the music, right? I wonder if we're just like playing music in our gyms, but then the stream is like StreamYard or whatever, like we use for this.
Yeah.
If it's just the mics, maybe it would be fine.
Maybe
I
it
don't
If
would
you're
know.
live, though, do you get
If it's like
taken down?
background music, especially if the microphone's not next to the
I don't know how that
speakers
works.
for the music.
Live, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how that
mean-
works. Maybe we should just try it and just see.
I mean, if you get
Well,
stopped,
see
you
here.
get stopped. Like,
I'll
whatever.
record it, you stream it, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll just
right?
see what
Like I'm going to
happens.
record it either way, so that I have
Yeah.
it just for fun.
So you
We'll
can
do
look
that.
back at in your old age.
And we do
and
need to record it.
be like,
This is when-
grandkids, look what I did.
Yeah,
The compilations that Ken did of everybody's lifts, I watched those every day.
over and over for about a
Wow,
month.
okay.
Yeah,
I watch it. You know,
it
Ken
was so much
sends
fun.
me. They do. You know, every video that you send me, I feel like I'm a professor trying to like look at it. Like it's my job to examine this. I just can't like get enough of it.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Good.
Sorry.
What have you been up to, Em?
I've been walking with Potato, but it's so effing cold
Yeah,
that every day I hate it a little more.
yeah.
But it
Don't
like,
be a wuss.
This is it.
and then
No,
I
we
got
haven't
a
even-
blister the other day because you have to walk through the snow in boots.
Yeah,
Like, because I'm like on the trails, and I was like halfway through the walk, like a 2-mile walk. I was probably halfway through, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like
oh no.
I could feel it, and my boot was just stabbing into me, and I just had to. It sucked. So
Yuck.
that sucks, and it's like -5 out during that, and so I would love to be able to put tennis shoes on and be like, "Okay,
Yeah.
let's go," and just walk like a normal
Yeah.
person.
Well,
Well,
this is the hardest, the coldest, the toughest
But-
time.
And we still got February, which is the true. That's
Like
the
the
real
worst of the
dark
worst.
age.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not even into it yet.
It's always the coldest month.
It's just
Yeah.
all the layers and stuff too. It's like it takes me an hour. Even Potato has layers I have to put on her and stuff.
Yeah.
Like but I don't know. I have been walking, but that's about it. I think I need to try do the Peloton to see if my knee can bend that much.
Ooh, what an interesting.
Try test
Question.
it out and
Can
see.
Certainly
you
no
ride a
impact, right? You don't have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
That's
and
good.
yeah, my knee was hurting the other day just because it's like walking through sand, like going through the snow kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like the Peloton where I don't know if I can bend it that much. We'll see.
Really? Wow.
Well, at the
seat
correct
way
seat
up.
height, I feel like
Yeah.
Yeah, then it shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
So I should be
Nice.
able to do that. Something. I need to get started. I feel like I've like put on the winter holiday weight. Need to
Oh,
get
yeah.
that off.
winter coat.
Well, and you really do got to get like. You gotta start. You gotta start working on it now. As much as I hate like
Yeah.
the New Year workout, like man, I'm gonna
Yeah.
New Year, new me thing. It's like you really do need to start by February if you want to see it come June. Quite
Yeah,
frankly,
exactly.
Right.
For the
It's an
average
uphill
person,
battle.
Yeah.
you need
Yeah.
a good.
Yeah,
4
I'm not
months
going to be
minimum.
doing like a 4-hour workout here.
No,
Like
no.
it's going to be a real short thing. So let's be
Yeah.
serious.
15 minutes a day will get you there.
So
Yeah.
so we'll see. We'll start with that since it's
Cool.
been so cold. But
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
Do
what
it.
do you? Yeah. If you could get the
You're,
bike
like-
going in February, then
Yeah.
March finally ticks around the corner. But then try to get out again in March, and it's like, then you're in mud.
yeah.
You're walking through mud
Yeah.
for 2 months.
Exactly. It's always something.
Yeah, I
But
mean, you spend a little time on that bike, and it's just like
I
you're
just
you're
need
gonna.
to be able to move more or bend it more. I still can't straighten it all the way. So
I wonder if all that movement of the bike is good or bad. Like, I don't know.
Right.
I'm not a
the
I'm not a
physical
PT.
therapist said it was fine.
Oh, okay.
As long
There
as
you
it
go.
like wasn't extremely painful. She was like, yeah, go for it. So
Nice. Maybe it'll get it back into shape.
well, that's what I would like to not do the like Black Widow pose if I have to pick stuff off the floor. Like I have to like do the one
Just gonna
leg
get
out.
Real strong on that one leg. Bearing
Yeah,
the entire,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, when I first did physical therapy and they like measure everything, one leg was like my right leg was like 2 or 3 inches thicker with muscle than my bad leg.
Whoa.
It goes away that quick. Wow.
The doctor was like, if you don't use it, you lose muscle like within a week or 2.
Dang.
Wow.
And the fact that I was off it for 8 weeks, so.
What's crazy about that is, could you imagine how long it would take to grow 2 inches in diameter of muscle?
Just
All
or circumference or
right now I'm
whatever?
just
Years?
walking around like a
Years. Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
so
Huh.
the one leg needs to catch up a little bit.
Wow.
So.
Ooh. Well, speaking of winter recipes, so you
Yeah.
and Olivia made
What's
some
this about?
flourless black bean muffins, and what I understand is like there is literally no. What is how many carbs are in these muffins?
I don't know. I should have brought up the recipe.
It's because what
There's
are the
no
ingredients?
flour. It's a can of black beans, 3 eggs,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
honey.
Makes sense.
Okay, so there's a little
Yep.
sweetness.
So
in
there is a little sweetness.
Yeah, you gotta.
And then you mix, some chocolate chips in it and stuff. But it's
That's
nothing.
it, huh?
That's it. What's the makes it level? What is there like baking powder? or
soda
something?
or
Maybe
baking
there must be a
powder?
little bit,
Yeah.
but it's only like a teaspoon or something. It's nothing. Nothing crazy. It was pretty simple for ingredients.
I mean,
it's
that's
not
what
like it's
they-
like a ton of butter or sugar or
Yeah,
anything.
that's what they
I
do
mean, the
with,
sugar is
like-
the honey.
Healthy banana bread is usually just banana eggs and like baking powder or something to
Yeah.
that effect, right?
Yeah, it's kinda
Maybe
like that.
applesauce or something to.
So it does have the chocolate for like the sweetness, but I mean, it's no more than any other kind of chocolatey
Nice.
sweet muffin.
I
Yeah.
I ate some of these muffins. They tasted exactly like a chocolate muffin. Like if you didn't tell me that the instead of flour there was black beans, I would never know the difference.
To make them. How do you prep the black beans? You got a
You need a
food
food processor.
Yeah. You just do that.
We
though.
actually bought a food processor for
I
this.
need one. I need to get one.
Well,
I
right,
want
that's
one
what
of
we
we'll
kept
those.
use
saying.
it. Yeah.
I need to break my. We have like a power blender
Like a
thing.
bullet thing.
Yeah, we have a bullet.
Yeah.
I need it to break so that I can get like the $500 like Ninja. It's just
Oh man.
Does it all.
1,500 watts of torque or whatever. Just depends on what you put on top of it that it does.
No,
That's
those
what I
turned out
want.
really good though.
That sounds great. I made some bean
We'll have to share the
salad
recipe.
off
Ooh,
of
that sounds
Okay.
very much in the vein of like cowboy caviar. It's a bunch of different
Mm-hmm.
beans,
Delish.
pepperoncini, balsamic vinegar, some parsley or cilantro if you had it, lemon juice. Get that acid in the system, that summer bean salad taste.
If you
Yeah.
say pepperoncini, balsamic vinegar, and lemon, I don't
Yeah.
care what any of the other ingredients are.
Right.
I'm gonna like it.
A little bit of sugar to even it out, right?
Sure.
Otherwise,
Whatever.
it's just acid city.
So good.
Just give me a pepperoncini with balsamic vinegar and lemon on it,
yeah,
and I'm
I'd
good
eat
to
do
go.
that too.
Maybe there's some pasta. I don't.
You know what I had the other day? We get Papa John's every once in a while, and they throw that dry ass, dusty ass, broke ass pepperoncini
Yeah, like in the
there.
corner.
Yeah.
And usually it's about the size of the top of your thumb. They put one in there, and this son of a bitch was tip of the thumb down to
Green
where it
pepper
connects to your
size.
wrist. Just huge. And I was like, sweet, this is like 5 pepperoncini. I ate it and vomited. It was so hot.
Really?
It was
What?
like pepperoncini are not hot. They're like
I
sour.
feel like
Not this
almost.
baby.
some kid was like, I'm gonna put like some really
You
hot
put
shit
something
in
into some.
jalapeno.
Yeah, they put something else in. They're like, look, I pickled it, and then they threw it in. They're like, this
Doesn't-
idiot's
I mean,
gonna.
What
I
a
have
douchebag.
I have to assume that like There must have been a seed core in there that was just monstrous, and I just ate the seeds
You just
or
ate
something.
the whole thing? Oh, no.
Well, yeah. Usually, you can just kind of pull it off of the.
Yeah, you hold the stem and you pop it off.
Yeah.
No, not this. I just went for it, just like a single hot dog down the gullet.
Oh no!
Blue chunks.
No, Ken, no.
Oh, no.
Not worth it.
And that's what's happening in Ken's kitchen.
Yeah, that's what's
Right
cooking.
there.
Do not eat pepperoncini seeds.
Extra large pepperoncini.
In
Oh,
charge.
man. So when we did the stream the other night for
The
Gloomhaven,
Gloomhaven stream?
and I showed that your foot was
Right.
like at the
Speaking
very
of-
end, the last
Speaking
5
of
minutes.
broke ass, busted ass.
I showed Ben's foot because I thought it was like a weird position, and then people were just commenting, "Oh my God, look at his socks, look at his shirt, look at his pants,
Well, he
look at his
was
slippers."
positioned like a snake about to strike. He was up like a cobra using
He was
all
like
its
at the edge
strength.
of his seat, but then his
be
legs
up.
were behind him more.
Yeah.
But
It was not made obvious by the stream that I was like making room for Emily to be next to me,
We
and
don't
that's
want to
why
I
I
don't
was
know
like,
about
how
that.
polite you are. We don't.
everyone was concerned that your clothes are literally like
Falling
you
off
walk.
of my
Yeah,
body.
like a sleeve falls off as you're walking kind of thing.
I want so I have a hoodie sweatshirt that I wear a lot, and the elbows have worn through. I want the leather brown
Yeah,
patches
that's cool.
over those elbow holes. That's
But
what I want.
You're supposed to put the leather patch on
that happens
before the
before.
hole develops.
Yeah.
Because now you're
It's so
rubbing
you
against
don't
leather
make
in
the
your
hole.
elbows.
But that's okay, right? Like,
I don't know. Because you got the
don't know,
rough
'cause the-
side.
Rest of the material's so thin. I don't think it would
I don't know what I'm doing.
work. You need to just actually go buy some clothes.
What I bought instead of clothes was a weightlifting belt, and it's raw
Another
leather. No, this is
Okay,
This
I was
is
going to say.
the one that I
geez.
have.
You got a nice
Ken's
one.
disappointed.
I do have a nice one. I have a very nice weightlifting belt, but it was raw leather, and I was like, does this have to be when it was like specified as that? I was like, do I have to personally treat this or care for this in some way? So I like bought
Yeah.
like leather
Yeah.
stuff, and
I've
I
got
put
all
it
that
on
for
there.
Foil
shoes.
or whatever.
Yep.
And
Soap
now-
saddle.
See how
and-
Ken takes care of his shoes? You hear
Well, you
from
need
that?
saddle soap, and then you need whatever I can't remember what it's called. There's some sort of wax that goes on, basically.
Yeah, so now all of my workout shirts have a orange ring
Yep. Yeah.
around around the gut.
His workout clothes are worse than his regular clothes, so you don't even want to see
Those
that.
are-
I don't
worn
know
through.
if that's true. I don't know if that's
That's true. It's getting to now even.
What is it about
Even
specifically your feet that you refuse to put
It's-
something
no.
full cloth on?
I bought,
It's that I wear stuff out for however I walk or stand or something wears through socks like
Yeah,
it's
but you refuse to
unreal.
replace it because I'm polar opposite.
Yeah.
If there's a hole in the sock, it's
Done.
out of here.
If I wouldn't
Out.
have any
Nuke
socks
it from
left.
orbit. It's gone.
If I threw them all away that had holes, I wouldn't have any socks.
Yeah,
Well-
buy new socks.
yeah, exactly.
I don't ever go to the
That's-
store.
That's.
You don't have to.
You don't,
it's
like-
2022.
Are you telling me that you only buy things from the store? When's the last time you,
You
bought
can't
a
even
game
try
or
socks
workout
on
or
in the
anything
store.
from the store?
I don't buy anything from the store.
So what is the
Yet you still eat. So what's
So-
the?
So for
I buy
Christmas
food from the
though,
store.
for Christmas I got you like
Socks.
3 different
And now
types.
you keep wearing them instead
I do
of me.
keep wearing the wool ones because it's like -5. I need some thick,
Yeah.
good socks. But then the one day I went to borrow an older pair that were wool ones, and I put it on, and I looked, and the bottom was like almost completely gone. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
You like
and
slide your feet or drag your feet or something when you walk?
Those specifically, those ones, actually, those were very good socks. They were like Woolly Bully or something brand, and I ran in the winter with those for years. I've been running,
oh, yours
and I just
is good.
I just
Okay,
wore all
yeah.
the way through.
Yeah.
But they're very expensive socks, and so I never replaced them. I just because they're still keep my
But
feet
think
warm
about
because
how
they're
long they lasted years. So
Yeah.
buying one more pair would
Well, that's
last
what I'm
you years.
right.
I have these ones that I sing the praises of all the time, and they last 2 or 3 years, but you send them in and they give you
new ones.
the
right?
value for the next pair. It's a lifetime guarantee.
Yeah, I need some of those.
But then you got to buy $15 socks.
It's
Well,
worth it. Maybe.
that's how much all
It
the
is.
ones that I bought him
because
too,
I
though.
buy
mean,
the $15 for 10 pairs Hanes
that
or
lasts like
whatever.
Yeah.
a month,
And
then they're like
gone.
gone.
They're definitely gone within a year, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the most, right?
Yeah.
If you throw them out at the first hole, then for sure. a year.
My God.
Yeah. If you throw.
Where you're going?
Well, I've been there, right? Like when I was a kid, we would, or a teenager is probably more accurate, especially in college, right? It's like,
Ball.
well, one hole's not a problem. It depends on where the hole is,
Yes,
how big
exactly.
the hole is, what the same, But now it's like, man, I don't know. I don't have the patience for it. I don't know.
I don't even know what to say. Everything Ben has, he'll be like, look, he'll bend over, and all of a sudden it's like, well, there's another hole in your pants. There's a hole here. Like
I do
everywhere.
have that problem. That's because you got
That's 'cause I
dummy
got-
thick butts.
Yeah, exactly.
We have wagons, and
Ben has split multiple pants in front of me.
They don't make clothes for people
Even-
our size. Apparently, we're
even-
not normal sized.
I buy the pants now that are supposedly built for dump trucks, and you still get holes right in the seam
Yeah.
between the legs.
Right.
That's where it
Yeah.
always happens.
Had to get
I
a
don't know.
CDL to drive that thing around.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need to take you shopping soon because it's
I
getting
know,
out of
I
control.
I do
It's
have a
gonna be
slipper
crazy.
recommendation if you're curious.
Of course.
Yeah.
I've only had them a month. It's called a Mojave, and
Whoa.
they're
look at
really
that.
nice. Really, really. Shout out to my wife, Shoddy. That's her
That's her
given
name.
That's her
name.
legal name.
right.
Legal.
Mojave, Mahabi. Really nice. Stays on. Doesn't get too hot to where your foot is like sweating in there.
Oh my gosh, that's my problem.
I need something like that. Like the potato chewed up my Christmas slippers, and then
Well,
also
that's
the
a different
way my
issue, though.
feet are in them,
Yeah.
they're like melting over the edges
Right.
of them.
They start to like.
That's because you walk
No,
like
you're
a
right.
duck. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Your foot starts to like slide, especially to the outside. What is that called?
Yes.
Supination or pronation
Yes.
or whatever it is. And these appear to resist that to a certain degree. But I mean, if you by the sounds of it, you slide across floors like an ethereal. Just
I was looking. I was standing at my work desk the other day, and I did have socks on, but no slippers. And I was watching my foot as I lifted it off and put it back onto the floor, and the amount that the width of my foot changes from when there's no weight on it to when there is, it like doubles in width. It's like
yeah. I do that.
It's like
That's
it
pretty-
goes to like normal width to like wow, like that is like a platform.
Do your socks do barrel rolls throughout the day? That's what I get because
I don't have
Yes.
that problem.
Then
No,
you
I don't
do
have
though.
that problem.
They're
My
like
ankles
sideways
roll
on you,
out.
and you don't
Yeah.
mind.
No,
which
they
that
don't
would
do
drive
that.
me insane.
They don't
does.
roll.
Dry-
No, that doesn't
No?
happen. They just wear
Okay.
out.
Though your mom has the same. Your mom will get holes on the toes, and I was like, "How is that even a thing?" And she's like, "Where it rubs on my toes," and I was like, "That's not a thing." Like once again, I
Sounds
don't
like they're just too
understand.
small.
Like her toes are just like poking through. I don't know.
Just
I don't have
Something's
that
up.
problem. I don't get holes in the toes.
I used to actually. Now that I think about it, I did as a kid. That's because they were too small and they were cheap and they were hanging. You know, it was like
And they
yeah,
your
you were
toenails
punching
are
through,
slowly like sawing through.
saran wrap, basically.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
Are we ready to move on, or is there something else you'd like to bring up?
I did want to say thank you to everyone. I don't know if anyone who listens has bought a date night box, but people
I
have been
have.
buying them, and thank you because it's awesome. So hopefully everyone likes them, and hopefully we'll have some new ones soon. But we still have a couple. I think I have like 5 of each of Sushi Go and King Domino. So if anyone's
Nice.
interested, they're on our Etsy.
Nice. So we're going to talk about some board games we've been playing, and what I wanted to bring up and made me that's tangentially board game related is on Kickstarter right now is from Simon, Marvel Zombies Zombicide. So Simon has done, or Come On, I think they're called now. They've done 800 Zombicides. Zombicide 1, 2, Zombicide 2nd Edition, Zombicide Wild West, Zombicide D&D. They're not called this.
Is that the
Zombicide.
one?
I wish it were.
Sorry, I'll let you go. No.
No, well, I've never played any Zombicide. Like I haven't. Every
That
time they do a
answers the
Zombicide Kickstarter, it makes millions of dollars. People love Zombicide,
Really? I don't.
and they always throw in 800 million minis, like
Right.
just piles and piles of plastic minis. It's crazy. Essentially, I think this game is like a beat 'em up, like
Zombicide.
go through a level and fight zombies and try to get somewhere and do missions or whatever. I don't know. Never played it.
Wow, look at all these minis. Holy cow.
Right now, based on the Marvel Zombies comic book, like theme, which Marvel
Sure.
Zombies is a thing.
Yep.
They have Marvel Zombie Zombicide, and it's 2 boxes.
Holy.
One, if you buy one of the boxes, you play as Marvel heroes that are zombies fighting
Okay.
against. So the bad guys are all the heroes who haven't been zombified yet, and you're fighting
Yep.
against them, trying to turn them into zombies. If you buy the other box, you're not zombie heroes fighting against zombies and some of the Marvel characters
Zombie
that have been
heroes.
turned into zombies.
Yeah.
Well, they
If
do
you-
have everything in this.
If you buy both boxes, then you can play either way with all the characters. Every Marvel character under the sun is
Jeez.
both
I
a
mean,
zombie and not a zombie.
They even have like Aunt May. Like it's
Right.
like
it's like
everybody.
everybody.
Like somebody who said hi to someone on the
It's
sidewalk. Like,
$240 if you want to get both of the boxes and all the Kickstarter extras. That is excluding all the expansions. There are multiple
Oh.
$50 expansions you can add on, like the Fantastic Four, and there's some other ones.
Wow.
I am so tempted
nope.
to get this just to have all that Marvel stuff to paint.
Could probably sell it for a lot.
That's-
You have things to paint.
But like, yeah, right? You have
Stop it. Stop.
you can get as much interesting Marvel minis for a lot less money. And
You know how many socks you could get for $200?
and I don't know.
Right.
Well, how many zombies do you want to paint though?
I don't
Really?
think I do.
Like,
I don't want to paint
wonder.
any.
I think this game is too expensive. But I want to play. If I was going to play a zombie side, which I've never played, and there are many, I would want to play this one. But it's too much money to buy. I think I think it costs too much.
And can't believe how much has been. So from the pledge of 500,000 that they were going for, $4,986,435.
Wow.
That's insane.
Like that kind of that. See, here's a good question. Do you guys get this? Like that kind of. You guys don't really follow Kickstarters. That's a huge Kickstarter. That's a giant.
Yeah.
Well,
like
even
that.
not following.
The
I'm
only
assuming
Kickstarter
that's-
bigger than that was like Frosthaven, which was the sequel to
The
Gloomhaven.
Gloomhaven.
That was like in the $10 million range.
Wow.
But up in the 4.5, possibly 5, 6, 7 million, depending on where this gets to. This is going to be like the second biggest board game Kickstarter ever.
This is what I never understand about Kickstarter. I feel like Kickstarter is like, help me kickstart my business. It's not.
right. It's not
Well,
what they
It's not like if a
Intended
giant
it to be,
business.
maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like now it just turned into a giant business being like, we'll give you bonuses if you give us some extra money.
Well, and that's a good discussion topic. But here's the thing with board gaming being a niche hobby, right? With a game like this being unaffordable to be able to sell on a shelf. If this game
absolutely.
is on a store shelf,
Absolutely.
it never
I-
gets purchased.
I get that.
Yep.
Then nobody would, in their right mind, would ever put up the capital
That
to
makes
make
sense.
it.
That makes
So
sense.
what they do
No.
is they have everybody who would possibly want it pre-order it, and then with that money they go make the game.
But is
Which I
that is that
get,
a
it's
bad
just-
is that a bad not even specific to board games, is that a bad design philosophy to sort of float, well, yeah, we want to make an electric vehicle that goes 1,000 miles on a charge, but it's going to cost $200,000 bare minimum, and so we need you to pay up front before we can manufacture anything. Is that just lazy design?
I think
I don't
it's
know.
I don't know, but it
it's-
is that thing of like, you need money to make money. I mean, I guess
I
it'd be
get
for the
it.
people to
I
be
get
like, I
it.
don't have the money to make it. I could make it if you give me the money,
Yeah.
kind of scenario.
And I think
but
that's where board games fall into this weird thing where if you wanted to make software like a video game, the most expensive thing is going to be the wages of the people writing the code,
Sure.
right? It costs millions of dollars to make a video game, even if you just had a couple of people working on it, right? Like, because it just costs money to pay people. And or like tens of people, let's say, like a big budget game. A big budget board game can be designed by a couple of people and an artist or two.
Yeah.
And then, but they don't have necessarily the capital to then go like print the game.
yeah,
Of
which
course
I
not,
get.
right? I mean, I see
Now,
that all the
I
time
do
with
get that.
inventors who they have this
Yeah.
idea, and where do I go from here, right? I don't have access to manufacturing. I don't have all these things, so I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, making more is usually cheaper, but you're not
Yep.
going to be like, well, let's start with 10,000 and then
But
force out
come
kind of
on,
thing. So
or Simon, I think if there's like a question of is this okay, or is this good practice? Simon is not a small company.
No,
Yeah,
they're
they're
publicly
not-
traded on the Hong Kong
Right.
Is
stock
that
exchange.
right? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
That-
see, I guess
well,
that's
that's
where
why
it
then it
crosses
seems,
the line
like,
to
weird.
a certain.
yeah, I don't know.
Right.
They have
So-
existing manufacturers.
But I guess
They
like
have
why can't
agreements in
they
place.
just
But
still
that-
do it? I mean, I
Well, I
don't.
think what feels
It just feels weird then.
icky to me is they're selling based on excitement
Yeah.
and perceived lack of supply, right? Because there's going to
Yeah.
be a first run, and everybody's on board, and all the same thing. I mean, so and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but it tiptoes towards like this feels a little
yeah.
off,
I would
particularly a
love to
big
see.
company.
Yeah, I would love to see the kind of like the numbers of the like how much money do they actually make off this, right? So
Right.
if they get $5 million worth of pledges, they have to make that many games plus some more, probably twice as many or whatever, because they're going to try to sell some, or of
course.
1.5x or something.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
They're going to have to get it produced, and they say stretch goals is you get this, and this mini, and it's like, well, if they make the master molds for the mini, I don't know how much one of those costs, $5,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe that's an exaggeration, but whatever. I don't think adding in extra minis is their big expense, right? So it's like getting the game printed and getting the game shipped is probably the big expenses. How much money do they actually make? Like, what is the cost to produce a Kickstarter game versus what you pay for a Kickstarter game? And
I don't know.
Kickstarter has really turned into it's only a good deal if you really want the Kickstarter extras. Because like most games,
Yes.
Kickstarter games that come to retail will have cardboard instead of plastic, or they'll have not all the Kickstarter minis. They'll just have, think about Marvel United. It has 10 minis in the box. If you Kickstarted Marvel United, you got 50 minis. You got the 10 in the
Right.
box plus 40 more or whatever.
Right.
But you probably paid $40 at the store, and you probably paid $100 for the Kickstarter, right?
Yeah.
So
It's
Is it-
also that like scarcity of like you can't get this anywhere also too. That they're
well, that's
you
always
know,
the fear, right?
That's-
Like this
Yeah.
doesn't come to stores.
like yeah, exactly. So
Well, I think we were talking
don't-
about with Marvel United. It's like, well, I just had, I don't know where this is ever going to be inside a big box store, and I want to paint these, and I'm
Yeah.
willing to pay the premium to get them because I know it's going to be a waiting line.
yeah.
So that's part of it, So I don't know. It's a weird. This, I mean,
What'd you
this
say,
the zombie
240
side thing
though?
seems
That's
extreme.
insane.
It's $240 for both of the base boxes plus all the Kickstarter stretch goals
Which
from
I
both.
get you get a ton of crap, but that's insane.
It's like $400 if you want to get that giant Galactus mini too.
Oh my God.
And he's like this big. I'm not even exaggerating. It's like literally like 2 feet high.
Which,
And
I
it has
mean,
interchangeable head and arms
don't know,
because he could be Zombie Galactus or not.
I guess if like that's what you spend your extra money on and it's your hobby and like go
I mean-
for it. But that seems insane to me.
That's a lot
I
of
don't know.
regular board games you could buy.
Yeah, it's a lot of things you could buy.
Well,
you know.
particularly if you haven't played any Zombicides. If you had
Yeah.
one and you loved it, and now you've got the Marvel version of it.
Yes.
Okay.
I can see that, right? It's part
Now,
of your
you know,
collection.
like-
Yeah.
What was the Penny Arcade Clank, which was very much like, okay, game we liked. What's the term? IP that I'm a big fan of, and it worked out great. So I think you kickstarted that, didn't you?
I don't think so. I think about that just normal.
Really?
That's
Okay.
Clank Legacy. If anybody hasn't played it, go. If you can get a
That's
group
fun.
to play through it, that
Yeah.
is one of the best Legacy games. It's so good. It's
Super fun.
Fantastic.
You definitely need a group, though. Well, I mean, you don't need it.
Minimum
it's more
3.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I would think so. Well, let's take a small break, and then we'll come back and talk about some board games that we have played. All right, we are back, and we're ready to start talking about some stuff we've actually been playing. Let's talk about some board games, guys. We don't have a huge list this time. Is that a bad
Ooh.
thing? Not really. I think we can kind of deep dive a little bit here into some of this stuff. We did start up Dungeons and Dragons again. So our D&D group played, we played a little preview campaign that was like level 1 to 3. Then we played a big old meaty campaign that was like 3 to 7. And then we took a break. We did some other stuff. In between, we all did an individual session with the DM
That's right.
at
Yep.
level 8. And we came back at level 9. And we just had our first session a couple of weeks ago. Did I talk about this in the last podcast, or was this since the last podcast?
Would have been a while ago, I think.
Yeah, I don't think you did. but-
Yeah. So we then we've had people in and out and stuff, and there's like people sick with COVID or out of town or this or that. But I think it was a good start. It was like really good to sort of like get back into our characters, and I don't have much more to say about it than that. I kind of like want to see what happens. I will say just two things. One of the guys in the group switched characters because he did not like his first character. And the way he introduced himself, he is a gnome bard. And it was freaking hilarious. He was like, he had a song that he was singing, and he had like these papers, like physical stuff that had a bunch of stuff written on it. And apparently this bard had been trapped in a skull that had been floating around with us in the previous campaign that always told dad jokes all the time.
What?
Yeah, that's a long story, but it like got attached to one of the guys, and there was like this skull floating around that always told jokes, and it was like doo-doo-ch, and apparently he had also captured this bard guy in there at some point, and so he kind of knew us, and then he had this like grand story he had written out, but it had a lot of mistakes in it. Like I'm a cleric, but in his story I was a paladin, and so he was like having to scratch it out and like fix it quick and like right. He was like he had this.
God.
It was so funny. It was role played
Wow.
so well that
Wow.
he had this sort of twisted like fantasy version of all of our party
Right.
members that he had
Oh,
like
that's awesome.
it was Phil did it. It was so funny.
I was
and
gonna
it
ask
so
who it was.
good.
Could never do
That's
that.
fantastic.
It was
Well
super
done.
hilarious. We also had, on the opposite end, we had a little friction. We had a little bit like Varys, who was a ranger and is now a rogue because Gage had sort of played him as a thief, I think is the best way to describe him. When we met back up, there was a little bit of like role play of Varys being like, I don't know why I would come with the party. And the party is kind of like, I don't know why you would come with us.
Oh, ouch.
But we're all playing together, and so he came, and then it just was this thing. It was like, I don't know why we're gonna put up with your hijinks if you don't want to be here, and we don't want
Yeah.
you to be here. And so he started to get in his like thieving hijinks at night, like when everybody's asleep and we're on a ship traveling across this big sea. And so one of the other players like set up sort of like a trap for him. And it just got into this thing where they were like playing against each other. And I think real out of game feelings kind of got hurt a little bit.
Oh no.
And you lost it?
Yeah, I think because it was like, I think in-game stuff that didn't line up in-game caused a little bit of out-of-game friction. And it was like, come on, like, we're all friends. Like, it's not like this is a work group where if there's somebody in your work group that you're not getting along with, you're just like, whatever, screw that guy. So, you know, I feel like we all
know how Ben works.
kind of talked about it. And we have found a way to make more sense that we're together in the party. And I think that in solving the problems in-game will solve the out-of-game problems.
Wow, this is deep right now.
It is, but it was definitely something I wanted. We're all friends. Like, we're not even just like a D&D group. Like, we're buddies. Like, I want to figure this out of game so that it's not an issue, right? Like
I feel
we
like
want
you got
everybody to come
for that week
excited.
And then you just cracked and yelled at someone and then you mended it.
Yeah,
it's
is
a good
this
thing.
you?
But
wait a minute. Are we getting your side of the story?
This is Ben just snapped
You're painting
at someone.
yourself as some sort of savior of.
I'm not saying any details. I'm just saying there was some friction, and I feel like it's
brought their hands together
resolved.
and made a stack of their hands together, and then they all.
You know, we're gonna retcon a little bit.
Well, that sounded
good,
fun, and that's rough. That's kind of a bummer, but I suppose that's part of the D&D experience to a certain degree.
Well, it was kind of interesting to have a real life problem happening, you know, and be like, okay, what are we going to do about this? Like an actual, like something we actually need to be grown-ups and talk about. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess you don't really, I don't have any friends, but I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do if I ever got into a genuine fight with someone.
Feel like
right?
as an adult, yeah. I don't know, because as an adult, I want to be like, I don't have time for this.
Exactly. So you need to make sure it doesn't go any further. I think you got to bite it in.
It's got to be
butt.
shut down one way or another long before it ever gets there.
Just say it. Like any sort of passive, I hate that. I would rather someone's just like, this bothers me. And
I would be the first person to apologize. That's my rule number
that's
one.
My thing too.
Apologize. Rule number 2, make fun of yourself. Rule number 3, let's get over this. Right? That's my playbook.
Number 4, pretend it never happened.
No, you just move on. It happened.
Yeah.
You can say sorry again if you have to, but yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm trying not to overfill this.
Well, that's why I was wondering.
No, you're
beer
supposed
because
to overfill.
it's not the right shape. There it goes. It's going to go over.
No, it's not. Perfect.
I told you, it's designed to do that.
Ben,
That cup is made to do that.
Clanking it with other people and spilling it all over the
Right? Like
table.
a pint glass has more surface area to release carbon dioxide. That one does the opposite. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Just let it overflow every single time.
Here, Emily, you are the podcast expert. You're sort of run the show here. What can you tell me? Do I need to rush through these next couple of games so we can get to
just 2 games
to the big boy, or are we sort of like letting them breathe a little bit?
Are you asking if you should explain both? I don't. There's 2 games. Like normally we have a list of like 10. The first game that we played the other day, I will just.
This is a very palatable list. Sometimes the list gets a little.
It gets a little long. That's when I say just name them off.
I think what's better in the future will be to curate the list of the stuff we want to talk about.
I like what you have here. I think you stick to this formula.
Well, yeah, normally I say just, you can name them all, but we don't need to talk about them all.
Right.
But 2 is doable. We can do 2.
I will quickly mention then that we played 5-player Tapestry with both of the expansions because, again, my D&D group is 6 people. If there's somebody missing,
someone
we
had
play
COVID.
a 5-player game. Yeah,
Actually, COVID's been running through that group rampant, which I'm always like,
it's closing in. We got
it's getting.
We
my
know
gosh,
several
Elsa,
people personally who have it.
Yeah, Elsa went on a play date, which she hasn't done in forever. So I was like, of course, go for it.
Yeah.
Went to her friends and they went to the community center, like went swimming, and she had like 2 other friends with her and all this stuff. And then the next day the mom called and she was like, she has COVID.
Sorry.
We just tested. Well, the thing is though, she's a pediatrician, the mom, and she was like, I hate myself right now and I feel like a horrible, but she set up like a COVID test for Elsa to get all this stuff for me. And I was like, perfect. Elsa was negative, so we were good to go. But that happened. And then that same weekend, for Liv's birthday, we took her and like all of us and a friend somewhere. And then, like, the next day it was like, Ella's dad has COVID. And I was like, why is this happening? But once
coming
again,
for us.
none of us got sick.
What's
But
the? It's
Getting
that
closer and closer.
It's the Omarion virus, right? The R&B singer
Omicron.
virus. Yeah.
It's getting
Yeah,
close,
right.
but we're
Whatever.
good.
I will say that I think we played Tapestry one time 3 players with you, Ken, and Emily kicked our butts. She doubled our score. We
Yeah, that one
played
time.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
every other time we played Tapestry, it was 2 players, and I always felt like it worked really good at 2 players. It worked totally good at 3, and I was like, I bet this works great at 5. The reason why it works at every player count is because it's very much like multiplayer solitaire. You know, you
Yeah.
are trying to figure out how to go up the tracks the best. And while there's a little bit of interaction of who gets up which track first, and then also taking over other people's territories and stuff, really you're just trying to play your own game.
I mean, there is
Yeah.
the, like, you can steal a building before
about to
someone else,
lose my
but
camera.
it's not a make or break situation.
Oh, I just realized it was like about to fall off the back of the monitor, hanging on by a thread.
This worked totally fine at 5. It worked great.
Nice.
It played just as good at 5. The rules explanation took a little while, and that was okay. And then we played a game in a night. We didn't go too long. I had a ton of fun. I lost horribly. I'd like to blame that on teaching the game and making sure
Little bit of
everybody was
stress.
following all the rules,
Yep.
and not the fact that I actually just played poorly, which is
Well, and
the
you
truth.
guys played with the expansion, which adds a track, which I feel like is really nice for a lot of players because it's just more options.
do remember
more
that. No.
actions.
Yeah. Okay. Did we play with the track? I think we did.
There was
We played with the regular 4 tracks because we just got the last track, and it just
Okay.
kind of like sits on its own on the side. But it's nice because it's
Must
just
be
more
thinking of
options for
something else.
everyone.
Yeah, this is always, the only other thing I'll say about Tapestry, every time I play it, I get wildly different scores. I haven't never been able to figure out how to do well in this game. I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes I do good, sometimes I do horrible.
Oh, but it's fun.
I will say for their first play, a lot of the guys did much better than most of my scores in that game. So they obviously understand it better. But nobody has
Yeah.
beaten your score, Em, of 287 or whatever.
Oh, thank
Wow.
God. Thank God.
Don't you worry.
Woo.
This last week, Phil bought a Study in Emerald 2nd edition and was dying to play it. So I have always heard from the Secret Cabal guys about a Study in Emerald, which is a Martin Wallace game that's actually kind of like long and complicated, but very interesting in where like the old ones from like the Cthulhu universe, the Cthulhu mythos have taken over the world a long time ago. And there's loyalists who want to keep them in power, and there's
Sure.
resurgence or something like that who want to like
Sure.
kill them somehow.
Why
Okay.
not?
And you're like, it's like deck building, and you're moving around a board, and there's agents, and you don't know who is on your team and who isn't, and you're trying to figure out throughout the game.
That's a
And there's
lot.
kind of weird rules where like if the lowest score at the end of the game is from a person on your team, everybody on your team moves back 5 points. So everybody's playing their own
But
game.
you don't know who's on your team?
You don't know who's on your team.
This is
Wow.
a lot.
Huh.
Like, I'm already...
Now, second
That's-
edition
Okay.
cleans up a lot of the
Okay.
like movement and that kind of stuff, and it makes it so like there's essentially cities on the board that have different. It's like a deck. It's like the store in a deck building game. Like when you can buy from the display. That is the different cities. But to be able to buy from the cities, you need influence in the cities. So there's actions you can take to put cubes into cities and put
Okay.
agents into cities. Now, what your agents can do for you is they can try to assassinate old ones that are in the city if their card has come out of the deck. So you have to
Okay.
kind of dig down through the deck to it. Or you can assassinate other agents if you're a loyalist. Like, you get points for doing that. It's really interesting in the game where, like, any time you score points, you get those points. But at the end of the game, when you reveal what team you're on, you lose any of the points you scored that would have been because you were on the other team. Right? So, regardless of what team you're on, if you do anything that scores
Basically
points
evens out.
for
Huh.
either, if
Yeah.
you score points for either team, you just get them. And so the game ends when somebody gets to like a certain score. But then you all reveal your team, and you're like, well, I got points from killing somebody, but I was actually not a loyalist, or so I have to go back the 3 points I got from that.
Is that kind of frustrating?
No, because you know that you got those.
I suppose.
Like, let's say you're in the lead and you want the game to end. You can like trigger something that doesn't get you any points but ends the game. That kind of thing.
I get it. Okay. Huh.
It was definitely good for our D&D group.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah,
I would never want to play that like with you guys or like me and M or whatever. I just don't think that like, oh, hey, we're gonna. I just don't know that we would.
Well, the concept is a little.
It's a little much.
It's just not in our wheelhouse. I feel like we'd like.
Exactly.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, what are you saying, Ben?
But I liked it. I mean, I had a lot of fun in that. Like,
I have one group that can play intelligent people games.
I have the stupid group.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I have a group that loves to play games where you're. Well, Tapestry was fun with that group of everybody put their head down and see how good you can do. A Study in Emerald was also good in that, like, I'm just going to directly play against these guys. Like, I think you're on the other team, so I'm going to block you with your influence here so you can't buy that card. That would help you a ton if you're on the other team.
I think it's more like during Clank, you made us eat cards and cubes, and when you're with that group, you feel smart.
Yeah, it's
yeah, he said.
No,
well, I mean, you just described one group as basically glue eaters versus.
Well,
you were talking about that. I was thinking about like, what is it really? Like, I
don't have the patience for that kind of game, and I would be like, get this off the table.
And you started off with like, this game is very long and slow. So.
Yeah, it's long, slow, and I would be like, okay.
We played the second edition. We played it twice in a night. And we still finished at normal time. Like, we played the first time to learn it, and there was some rules mistakes. We played it again, and the second play was like an hour with 5 players. That's
pretty good. That's great, actually. With 5
people. I don't know that I would be like, go seek this out. Like, it was interesting. I liked that it had deck building. I liked that it had secret teams. I liked that it had all this like direct interaction with people. Like, I'm gonna go here to keep you from being able to buy that card on your turn. Like, I am stopping you from being able to do what you were setting yourself up to do. That's cool. But like, I just like your deck never got like super interesting. You only buy it's like Arnak. You only get a couple of cards in it. You only go through your deck a couple times.
It's not the big time deck building.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
We only played 2 games. We haven't played much at all.
Could you talk about the first one for us for a moment here?
We played the Magnificent, which I think in the past we only played 2 other times, so it had been a while. So Ben had to totally explain the rules to me again. He says 3. I don't believe him. I could kind of remember it, but for the most part, this game is super tight because you only get 12 turns total. So you're kind of like counting down every time. And you have a couple of different actions you can do and whatnot. But the main thing is like the cards you get, which gives you the dice. I'm trying to think of how to explain this. You get cards which gives you dice on it. And that's kind of like what you use for each action. But then on the bottom half is also like a scoring ability. So if you keep it at the end, it will score based off of your board. So it's kind of like a double down on that one. It's a great game. You could like think about it forever. I mean, like someone could be like, well, this one gives me and sit there forever. I kind of just went for it for a lot of them. Obviously you can. Nice. But I hate like sitting there and being like, well, this is 12 points. And then if I do, and like.
Yeah, just wing it.
Overall, it's like, it's a quick game. It's fun. I think I lost horribly, but it was good. I would like to explore that game more, though. Like, I'm not good at it necessarily, but it's really interesting because there's only so many actions, but there's so much variety because you have different cards every time and different dice. So you roll dice and kind of like draft them and stuff, too. Or like pick from them, so.
It's... you only get 12 decisions, and they just are so critical. You know, the actions that you can do there are colored dice, and when you take them, then the power of the action is the number that you take. And if you take another dice of the same color that round,
Yeah.
you add the two together. So now it's extra powerful.
But at the end of that round, you have to pay that much. Like your most expensive
You add up
dice. Like that's how much you owe. So at the same time of being like,
Huh.
great, I can move whatever
Okay.
6, I have to
don't
pay
hate
that much
that.
at the end. And at the bottom of the card is those like bonus points and this and that. So it's kind of this like you could sit there and think forever in some cases. So if you have like a friend that's like loves to do that long, like think about the whole scenario, it's like not the game for you, I feel like. But
Yeah, I mean, we could, if we really sat in here and explained exactly how this game worked,
Yeah.
it would make sense, but it's very different from any other game I've played. And I like that
Yeah.
about
That's
it.
cool. That's an
it is a
endorsement.
lot different
if I
than
ever heard one.
most. And it's really like the art is really pretty. I feel like it's unique the way it does like the actions and everything. So
And every decision is so critical. I mean, you cannot waste an
it
action.
is sad when you're like counting down your head and you're like 10. Shit, I only have two actions left, and you're like not doing good.
Right.
But
Missed it. Yeah.
it's good though.
So along similar lines and along similar to our discussion earlier, I did have a Kickstarter game show up, Merchants of the Dark Road from Elf Creek Games. So I backed this Kickstarter because I was listening to the Secret Cabal podcast, and they were talking about this game in the news, and they had the Kickstarter page up, and they were like, ooh, and all the guys on the show backed it. Like, even though they don't even need multiple copies, like they could play each other's copies.
I feel like
Something about the Kickstarter got them, and they backed it.
That's
So
what
I
I'm
went.
talking about. Yeah.
I looked at it and I was like, "Yeah, sure, this looks cool. Like, I'll back it too." And so it showed up. That was obviously a while ago, like 12, 18 months ago or whatever. And before I got my copy, I had seen some reviews online. There's a Dice Tower review of it, and a couple of other things where people were like, "It's okay, like it's fine," but
Yeah.
okay.
and so my expectations were tempered. You know,
That's
of like,
probably good. It's probably
Yeah.
a very good thing.
yeah, right. Rather than being like it's the best out of the park kind of
Right.
scenario.
you're probably right, but like even when I looked at the Kickstarter page, I was like, okay, this looks beautiful. Like this is an amazing looking game, and I mean the art is the Andrew Bosley, same guy who did Tapestry and Everdell.
Okay. Yep.
And the art's
Cool.
just like it's beautiful.
Yeah,
but
that's really
it's
pretty.
very like kind of dark themed, but you're like merchants and it's snowy or whatever. You're on a world where some wizard made the Earth turn, or not the Earth, but their
It's like
planet turn
night.
really slow.
Right.
So it's night for months, and then it's
Gotcha.
like day for months. So they have long summer, and then winter is like the long night or whatever.
Well, yeah,
It's
you'd
13.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 13 weeks, right? So in the game, you have 13 turns.
Yep.
It's
Cool.
much like the Magnificent. Essentially, this game is a pick up and deliver game. So you will pick up orders, and you will pick up goods and people to satisfy those orders. So there are goods. Well, there's orders for goods, and then there are
Merchants.
heroes. There are heroes you pick
heroes?
up
They're not
that
merchants?
want to go to certain cities. And there's a side of the board that is all the different cities. There are maybe 4 sets of 2. And these are the places that either want goods from the orders you pick up or the heroes want to go to. The other thing you could do with goods in this game is you can acquire goods and sell them to the heroes for money based on an ever-changing market. And
Which
also-
just has like a wheel that you can spin.
it spins
essentially.
around, and the value of the goods spin as it goes
But
around.
it's like nothing crazy. It's just like you can turn the wheel and then you can, it has so many dice or pieces on it for what it has.
Each player has their own player board that is like their wagon, and it only has so much space for goods. And the goods are tiles. You have to fit them in your space, like a Diablo 2 inventory,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Talking about my
And-
wagon again.
Yeah,
All
right. the goods are different sizes, but that doesn't necessarily correlate to the value. Like the value of the small ones could be more than the big ones. It's just that they're different sizes. And this was kind of off-putting for
like
some
that.
people in that the size of how hard it was to fit it in your wagon doesn't correlate to how much value
But
it
it
sells
also
for.
can
that makes
depend
perfect sense to me.
on
if
the
it's
order.
gems,
Yeah.
like it's not a
Right.
difficult concept, huh?
Right, and sometimes the orders have, different items or the people want different items. So I do like in the little wagon, the little square, like trying to fit stuff because it is where if you move it around, you can maybe fit one more thing and you're like, hold on. And you
Yes.
kind
I
of move
can
it
figure
around
this
and you're
out.
like,
Got it,
yes,
yeah.
I fit this. Yeah, I did it
It's
the
a
right
little
way.
puzzle, right?
Yeah, I like that.
So how the game is actually played, there is, on this board, there is sort of a track that goes around. It has 5 spaces on it, and each space is in between 2 action spaces. So what you do is you have 3 dice spots on your wagon, and you have a pool of dice. And you take one of your dice from the bottom, and you push out one of the dice from the top. And the 3 dice spots that you push out will give you a bonus action. There's a produce a good. There is
Gosh, I don't remember.
like get a lantern or use an extra die if you have one. These like fire dice or whatever the heck they're called. And then there's one that's like get some money or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's just 3 spots, so.
But you like essentially knock a dice out of these spots. They slide up to the top. The player boards are like double layered. They're super fancy. Like they have
They are
little
nice,
indentations.
The little indentations, yeah.
Nice.
The dice that gets pushed up then will have a value on it. It'll have 0, 1, 2, 3, and I think there's a 4.
Yeah, there might be.
That's how many spaces you go around this wheel. The 5, it's a move. You move that many spaces. Now, where you end up, you can choose to do either of the actions that are adjacent to the spot you landed on. So,
Which I like that too. I like it's not just one action. You can kind of choose and like base it off of what you have in your wagon or whatever the scenario.
So
I
you
like
could
that.
potentially, like, there's the spots, and then there's in between the spots is the actions. So if you moved one space, you can do the same action 2 turns in a row because you could have done it when it's further down from you, and then when you go past it, you can do it. Now it's behind you, you could do it, right? So you always choose what's next to where you stopped, and you just are going around this circle. And the actions you can do are buy goods, you can get orders, you can travel.
But there's also the like next to the travel. I don't know what it is. It's like roll a dice and you like get a like shadow.
Well, there's
good
2
or
different kind of
something.
travels.
There's
you
like
can
the
do.
2 travels.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll get to travel in a second. You can go to the black market where you pay like cheap money to get only, but you don't have as much choice of what goods you
some
get. You get
goods.
goods for super cheap. And then there is like
You can
the
like
heroes.
pick up the heroes.
You can sell goods to heroes, and if you sell at least one good to a hero, but you could sell multiple, but they only buy certain kinds.
I wasn't told that till the second game at the
Right.
end.
Yeah, that's
Classic
true.
Ben.
Yeah, I was like, hold up, you can sell more than one good? And he's like, yeah, why couldn't you?
Well,
And I was
yeah.
like, are you
Because you
serious
said
right
you
now?
could sell a good.
Yeah, so I thought it was like you sell them one good only and little.
Well,
did I
if you
know.
sell to them, they join your caravan, and then they want to go somewhere. So when you travel, it like does a bunch of. There's a bunch of things like you get a companion, which gives you some sort of bonus. You pull a travel card, and then you have to roll dice and see if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Then you finally go to your destination where you can sell the stuff you've brought there or drop off the hero who wanted to go there. And you get either prestige or you get money. So all the stuff you're doing, you're selling goods to get money or delivering goods to get prestige or dropping off heroes to get money or prestige or whatever. At the end of the game, your
This is
base
the tricky
score
part.
is the lowest between your money or prestige. So you need
Okay.
to be doing both. And then
Yep.
there's a couple of other ways after that to get bonus
Yeah.
points because there's some things that are called, I can't remember what they're called. I think they're called orders.
I mean, and in each little action, like when you travel, you can take the dark road or you can use your lanterns. Like there's a lot of little mini
to take the shortcut
bonuses
or whatever.
and this and that. But for the most part, it's to get the prestige, to get the money. So you kind of want them almost like very close. So you can be like, okay, my lowest is 32 and my, money is 34, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's
Cool.
That's definitely tricky though, too, to do that.
And when you travel, anybody else at the table has the option to come with. And so an additional travel dice gets rolled, but they may get a bad roll and have a bad thing happen to them. But it's a way you can do deliveries without having to take an action on your turn, because you only get 13 actions. There's only 13 weeks in winter.
Yeah.
So, it's a circle that you move. It's essentially like a roll and move. And then depending on where you land is going to be what you have to do. So it's the kind of thing where like the value of the goods is constantly turning. There's a wheel that turns, and who's available in the hero market is always changing, and what delivery orders you can do is always changing, and where the black market is. And so it's this thing where you have to plan several turns ahead. I have this order in this hero, and I need this, and I need to do this. But you can't plan several turns ahead, because by the time you get there, the value of everything might be completely different.
Or somebody like took my person or my order, or
so it's very chaotic and crazy. But you have to be strategic at the same time. The goods you pick up that you're intending to sell to that hero, hopefully he's there by the time you get there because somebody else didn't pick him up instead. If he's still there and the goods are still valued a lot, or you gambled and bought a bunch of stuff at 1, hoping the wheel would have been turned by the time you get there so that it's at 5 and you sell it for a lot, like that's a good gamble, instead of buying it at 3 and now it's 2 and you sell it for less, but now he's in your caravan and you can bring him somewhere and then you meet some sort of goal that you had. It's so crazy complicated.
Yeah, there's a lot more little like bonus things and this and that, like bonus cards, and you can roll this dice when you do this, and like little things. But it's not, once we learned it, it wasn't confusing in any way.
Yeah, let me be clear. The rules are not complicated, but the decisions are complicated.
Because
it's
you can't,
yeah, not a...
To me, it sounds great because you can't... There are games we have played where there is an optimal way to play. And I think those games are poorly designed, in my opinion. Now, that's a lot of games there's an optimal way to play. So shame on me for saying that. But games where you have to deal with at least a certain amount of luck are more interesting to me.
Yeah.
You are
and roll with the punches.
Every time you pick up a hero, you buy a good, you're gambling all the time that it's going to pay off for you.
Even like,
but you're still taking
your
action.
spaces again, you roll your dice
and
kind of like, okay, what are my dice to move? Some of your dice are only like, the last time I think I had like 3, 3, 4, and I was like, what am I need to move 2. Well, you have to just keep being like rolling around,
Yeah, this
you have
game
to deal with that.
Is perfect for us, for our group, me and Emily, or us, or whatever. If you played this game with somebody who's like wants to figure out how to win, they would hate this game because it's like constantly changing on them. You can't. You would sit there forever on every turn trying to figure out which dice to go to which space because I'm going to get this, and then I'm going to, and then I'll still have these dice, and I push that dice out with this dice, I'll move.
That's infinite replayability in the palm of your hand, right?
Yeah.
That's a game that you keep forever.
Now, I will say,
cannot master it.
Yeah. Component-wise, with the Kickstarter version, it knocked it out of the park. It's amazing.
So it's like the metal coins, which look really amazing.
It's not just metal coins.
And
they're like I don't know how
they're like a thick, like detailed, like
they're
really
all different
nice
shapes and sizes, and they're multiple colors. They're like
and they're really
there's
cool.
a lot of they're like made. There's some sort of design to the coin. They're not like a stamped coin that's with a wash on it. It's like the 10s are like a silver with gold inlays and stuff.
Yeah, they do have the gold really cool in this game. The lanterns are like little lanterns, like actual physical ones. The dice themselves are really cool, like the way they are. And then isn't there like one other? Oh, and then there's like these little crystal or like gems that are also really interesting.
The other Kickstarter upgrade is that you normally have a little screen to hide your money behind. Well, it comes with a little pouch that you put your money in.
Yeah, which that is nice.
And so it's the whole thing. It's like you're a merchant. You don't exactly know what's going to happen because it's dark for 13 weeks and you don't know who's going to buy what or what the value of things is going to be. You're trying to figure out, you're trying to think ahead, but thinking ahead doesn't necessarily work, and you're trying to travel and do this and do that, and it's like, and everything looks really nice and the art's amazing and you have all these fancy components. I really, really like this game. Is weird. It's hard for me to say. It would be very hard for me to say that it's like love it or recommend it or whatever.
I
but
really like it,
I
but I
had
don't.
so much fun playing this.
I
But
love
also,
the
I
sound
do
of it.
think like the upgrades, they definitely help. Like some people are like, it's not worth it to get the upgrades, which I understand for some games. It's not. For this one, I think it is because it makes that theme of it. Like I have the actual coins in my little pouch.
Right.
Like I have my
Right.
little lanterns and
That goes a long
Like,
way towards
yeah,
it's silly, but ambiance. And,
yeah,
you were talking about
Definitely.
role playing for a lot. And it's like the coins get,
That
especially,
makes a
I think,
difference.
especially with new players,
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing, that tangible something to touch and understand in the pouch gets people in a mood to be like, okay, we're merchants. We're doing,
Yeah.
it is an unpredictable market. I have a finite number of turns. I can feel it, right? If they're heavy.
Yeah, you have
You
your
know,
little, pouch and
there's a lot
it's
to
fun.
that sort of game design that I think is, I get you got to make shit out of cardboard, but
It's
not every
weird.
game
Yeah.
can be $200, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make
exactly.
any sense.
It's weird in that like most like it would be hard to categorize this game as light, medium, or heavy because I feel like you have to think several turns ahead all the time. But you also are like constantly taking a risk. There's nothing deterministic about what you're deciding on.
Yeah.
And so most heavy games are deterministic but complex.
Right.
Most lighter games are like, random, fun, and frivolous. And this is just like this weird
I would say it's
mishmash of
medium,
both.
or like
It's like
higher
life.
up on the medium, but
Is it not an analogy for life? Is this
Right.
there you go.
measured risk taking and working with what you get?
Also, I threw the insert away. It's complete garbage. I put everything in
call.
bags and wrote what goes in the bags on
Yeah,
them.
the insert was like we were trying to follow the directions, and I'm like, this is harder than the
I'm
game
proud.
right now.
I am proud. I
Figure
figured
this
out the instructions for the insert, and then as soon as I
was
figured
so
it out, I was
much
like,
work.
"Nobody,
Right.
this is so dumb."
Oh,
Like,
now
we
that
tried,
I
but
understand how
no.
this works, I can throw it out because it's trash.
Yeah, it was like so confusing.
I get that. Well, that
have
sounds
some of
cool.
that.
I
Yeah.
like the sound of that game.
Yeah, it was. I always say, well, we would play this if you were here, and I would. This would be one of the first ones I'd probably pull out if you were like, hey, I'm in town and I want to play a game. Like, this
Yeah.
would be fun to pull out.
I'd play.
All right, I think that closes out board games for today.
Is
What's
that
up next,
Kombucha? Kombucha and Henny?
Yeah, we got Health Aid, Kombucha, Pink Lady Apple,
Where's
Bubbly
the Henny?
Probiotic Tea.
Fancy.
Gotta put
I
the
mean, have
Hennessy
to-
in there.
I need some
Oh,
Henny in
man.
here.
I do
gonna
like
die.
kombucha or kombucha.
Kombucha. I'm a big
Depending
fan. Big kombucha fan. People always say if you drink too much, it's a problem, but I feel like it just
Is
makes
it?
me feel better and better.
How have I ever drank too much though?
Yeah.
I feel like drinking
Used
too
to
much of
work
that
with a guy who would
is-
make it. You gotta buy like a dip. It's like
Gotta
a
buy like the
yeast
mother.
disc. The mother disc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember going to my brother's house and they had a jug and they're like, "That's the mother." And I was like, "Whoa!"
Easy
But also
sauce.
at
Say
Matt's house,
hello to mother.
that's not a normal. I feel like that's very like, yeah, I know. Like at that point,
I'd be surprised if it wasn't there.
we have some Instagram questions.
Whoa,
Actually,
yay.
I put out questions and polls, and people actually answered.
Nice.
Wow.
And I was so
I
excited.
did not. I'm proud to say I once again failed to come through.
I think Ben even answered one. Which,
Sometimes.
the first one is from the board critic. I almost said the board game critic. The board critic.
You're talking about McKay, the board critic, fellow board venger.
Yes, exactly. He said he wanted to know all of our pet peeves in depth.
I'm assuming he's talking about games, right? Or is
I
he
don't
talking
know.
about pet
I'm just
peeves?
legit pet
How much
peeves.
time do we have? Because I'm about to go off.
You want to start?
Can you guys warm me
Top-
up to this? What
Top
do they need to be
100
like?
pet peeves.
Yeah?
No. Number one, things unfinished. Tasks,
Oh, my God,
whatever.
come to our house.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's
Not a pet peeve of mine.
really, these
Yeah,
are
we know. We know, Ben.
pet peeves. Socks with holes, things unfinished. You know what is one? I'm going to call my children
peeve,
out. You can see
Ben.
this. Garbage goes in the garbage can. if
Oh
you
my
get
God.
a GD granola bar, don't put it on the countertop immediately above the
Above
garbage
the
can.
garbage.
Put it in the garbage can.
Yeah, they'll always put any sort of food bowl right above it.
It's
And I'm like, you
like-
know, it would work great if you just like dumped it directly into
You
that
got
garbage.
95% of the way there. I don't understand how we can't complete the.
I
No,
agree with that.
I don't have a lot of pet peeves. I feel like.
I was trying to think of some, and I do hate if somebody cleans the kitchen and there's like water on the counters or by the sink, like water
Sure.
on the countertop. That drives me insane. Or
fair.
if someone leaves
There's only
the
2 people who clean the kitchen in this house.
Right.
yeah,
And you're
so
one of
take
them.
note. If you would like to pick up your pen quick and take some notes. Also, if someone takes a sponge and leaves in the bottom of the sink,
Ooh, yeah.
like
We
fully
don't-
wet, what?
Yeah.
I don't
You know,
do that.
yeah.
That's like a
We use-
psychopath. I'm not
we
saying
use
you
the
do that.
dish
I would never
wand.
do that.
What's it? It's like a.
Like
it
you
looks
put,
like a
like, the
toilet
soap
bowl
in it?
cleaner.
Yeah.
No, not in it. It looks like a toilet bowl cleaner. You put soap
Okay,
on it.
yeah.
Because I don't like
Yeah.
the sponge because it's germy and gross. But every once in a while, and I don't think it's not intentional. Every once in a while, that thing is at the absolute bottom of the sink.
That's like
beneath,
you got to start over.
like,
New
and I
sink
gotta,
time.
I gotta dig through the sink, and it's like you're dodging knives to get the thing to, and then you gotta clean it in order to clean other stuff.
Yeah, which
it's
you're like, do I
gross,
want to
yeah.
rub this all over my dishes right
I think
now?
that's just bad luck, though. It falls down there sometimes.
Yeah,
Nobody does
probably.
that on purpose. Nobody.
I do
leaves it at
have
the
to.
bottom.
I have put the dish sponge in boiling water to sanitize it, or run it through
Or
the
the
dishwasher.
dishwasher.
It gets
Yeah, I've done
good
that.
that way too.
Go get a bottle brush. I think it's called a bottle brush.
Yeah, we
A
do have
long
one
handle.
of those. Yeah.
That's my jam. I don't like the sponge.
Well, I have the sponge just for like pots and pans, though. I feel
No
like I
bottle
need the
brush on
sponge.
those. It works.
I don't know. It depends on
I'm
the
gonna
sitch.
convert you.
I think we still have a bottle brush from when we had baby bottles. You know,
Oh,
so
wow.
it was like one of those.
Like a little
But-
one.
Considering our kids didn't ever drink from bottles, it's freshly clean.
There you
Still
go.
going strong.
There you go.
We probably got it 10 years ago, and then they hated bottles.
I assumed McKay was asking us here, or excuse me, the board critic was asking us here about
Well, it can be
Board
either
board
one.
game pet
Pet
peeves. And well,
peeves.
I was going to take this opportunity to say that I have no board game pet peeves. I love every board game ever made. I just like playing games with
I
people.
don't know if I have a pet peeve when it comes to board games.
haven't-
Someone who
I haven't
sits there
played
forever to like analyze.
Sure.
Sometimes I want to be like, we're done.
I don't. You guys don't have to. Certainly, don't have to comment on this. I just wanted to take the opportunity. Something I was talking about with Ryan the other day.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Ken.
I was gonna say I'll be edgy here.
Yeah.
Don't take it so seriously. People who
Yeah.
play board games like any other hobby, you're supposed to be having fun with it. If you
Yeah,
take
I'll
it too
agree with that
seriously,
one.
that rubs me the wrong way to a certain degree.
I would be
agree.
hard pressed, other than like actually bad games. We're talking about like
That's
games
not a
that
pet peeve. That's a
Yeah.
Right.
bad
no.
game.
games that like people like. There are people that like it. I'm in every one of those groups. I just like to play games with people. I don't care because the thing is like, what are my favorite kind of games? Games that are so heavy, Emily's never going to play them. My favorite games are as heavy as they go.
His pet peeve is me.
Right. So, beside that, I like everything. I
My
like
pet
everything
peeve
else.
is that you need other people to play board games with. Why can't it just be me versus
Now you're
other
gonna get the
versions of
solo.
me?
Just buy too many bones and play by yourself.
What's
Just like
too many
Jason.
bones?
Oh,
Don't
it's like
get them started.
don't go down
It's
that
a
dark
way too
path. It's a
expensive
very
board game.
expensive game.
All right, never mind then. I'm good.
My one other pet peeve that's not board game related is people at four-way
People
stops.
who look like Ben.
people at four-way stops
People who look like
that
my
wave
husband?
people through like they're
Yes.
making their own traffic. Like,
Yes.
what is that about? I hate that. Where you're
I'm
like,
gonna
you were
piggyback.
you were here first, and they're like waving people. Like
That's
you
not
can't
how it
make
works.
up.
First to stop.
There are
goes
rules.
first.
It
First
is
to stop
defined
goes
on how
first.
it works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very clear.
I hate that.
If
Do
you
not
arrive
mess
at the
with it.
exact same time, it is the person to your right that goes first.
Yeah, I don't. And they act like they're being nice, and I'm like, you're just effing up stuff right now.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
That's big in Minnesota culture suffers from Minnesota culture suffers from
Minnesota.
we're being nice to the point of like, okay, we've dragged this on long enough.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. Yeah. This is a Midwest problem for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Of
sure
like
it is.
everybody's trying to be too polite.
Everywhere else, people are probably like, fuck it. And they just.
Michigan drivers are
follow
pretty
directions.
aggressive compared to
They
Minnesota.
are
but
pretty-
Minnesota,
yes.
I'm trying to think. We had an interaction with trying to set up a play date, and it was like the actual
Oh,
conversation of like
God.
when we're going to meet up got lost in like, no, we'll do it. No, we'll do it. Why don't we
Oh
have
my
that? And it's
gosh.
like, so who's going where at what time? And neither party knows. And it's just
No.
stop being nice. Say
yeah.
what you want.
Somebody say a time and a place, and I'll be there.
There we
Yeah.
go. Being too nice.
That
That is my
annoying.
pet peeve. Being too nice.
Yeah.
That's true.
I also hate people that stand in the middle of aisles at grocery stores.
Yeah. Pick a side.
Pisses
Right side.
me.
Stay in your lane. I agree.
Lane. I have lane issues when it comes to
Grocery store lane issue.
Driving too slow in the
Or like
wrong
the-
lane.
people that stop and talk in the middle of a grocery aisle. And I'm like, I have like 45 minutes to get this shit done. Like, get out of the way right now. And they're like chit chatting with their carts. Like,
Carts
Just
need
a-
horns. Just
I would love
this little, yeah.
Beep, beep, beep. When I was in
They
India,
could immediately know who it was, right? Because
I
there's
was-
only one
It would be
person.
so awkward. You're like, beep.
You're
And
just
you're like
behind
standing
them.
there.
I was in Bangalore,
me.
India. The everybody used their horns. They had some sort of like Morse code horn language that I didn't understand.
Hey,
and
you
I
paid
remember
for it. Use that thing.
we were in a yeah, right. Where like all the taxis I took were like Toyota something, and they were like banging
oh, yeah.
on the freaking middle
the
of the
time.
steering wheel. But when we rode in a van, and the dude had like a horn button. It was like a long lever.
Whoa.
And he could
So
like
you
just
just,
hit it
like-
with his index finger. He was
Oh,
like,
cool.
So like your blinker, but you could almost like
yeah, but it was
kind of
up,
thing?
it wasn't on the like it wasn't a stock
No,
off the
but I mean,
steering
like, it's
column. It
that
was like
kinda-
up to the left.
Whoa.
And he would just
And
be
he
like,
was,
Came out of the
boop,
dash.
boop, boop.
Came out of the dash. It was about 18 inches long. And depending on, you could blow into it and play it like a flute.
he played his horn
played
like a
a
flute.
song.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah.
I don't
Give
know.
me that.
All right, what do we got next?
Board gaming, Madigan. I'm saying everyone's name like how you know when you read books and you kind of make up names in your head, like
Mm-hmm.
when you read and then you hear it out loud and you're like, well, that's not how I was pronouncing it.
Right? I just
I'm
read it
doing the
as board
same.
gibba gibba. Like I just know that.
Yeah.
I don't
know
need
who
to
it
figure
is.
out how it's said.
It's the same.
Yeah.
But it's Joe, board gaming Madigan. Are you able to properly spot Ben?
No.
Some people were questioning if I would save you. Probably not, but I might have enough to like get it off your neck from killing you.
I think that's absolutely untrue. Emily has spotted me on bench.
Do you think I'd be
multiple
able to,
times,
like-
And no, not. I don't have to wonder. Every time I have failed the lift, you have helped me rack it. Like it
Nice.
because
Okay.
I'm not. It's not like you push and then you just stop and like, oh, hey, I need you to
Right.
like roll
Right.
We're gonna do
315.
800 pounds.
You're not at
I need
0%
Right.
all of a sudden.
I
Yeah.
need 10 pounds of pressure on this thing. Can you please just give me a little
do
bop,
10.
bop, bop with the fingers?
How
And that's all it
insulting.
takes.
Bop. 10 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm not going to finish this lift and I need you to pick the entire weight up, right? And she's
Yeah.
not spotting me for a freaking squat.
Right.
You know, it's like
Yeah,
you
I'm
get
not
stuck
doing
on a
anything
bench. I just
crazy.
need those fingertips just
Yep.
just touching it, you know?
Sometimes
And
I
even
just blow
especially
on
on-
it.
Especially on bench, often all you have to do is kind of like nudge them out of the hole.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
you can finish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also like once the elbows can like lock.
Yeah.
You know,
Once you hit
kind
a
of
certain point. Yeah.
It's just that like before they are locked and you just do the little, but
I mean, I've been lifting for 20 years. I'm not going to put weight on the bar that I know Emily's not going to be able to spot me for.
yeah,
Like,
it's never
well, I
like, do you
will.
think you could grab these 80 pounds if
I'll
I
crush
don't?
myself.
Like,
No, that's why I bought the arms. Yeah.
the one time though you were doing it, I wasn't spotting you. You were doing weight that you weren't sure if you could do, and that's when I was in a wheelchair. Like legit could not put weight
I
on
got
my
it.
leg. and you were in the garage, and that's when Seth texted me, and he was like, do you need me to, let me know if you need me to, like, call the hospital or come over quick or something.
The only thing you've ever spotted me on is when I want to be like, all right, I want to bench an amount I don't know that I can bench one rep of, or like maybe I want to like
something you can do, but you want to do like 3 of.
I want to do
something.
3 of, and I need your help. Though I have
Yeah.
occasionally had you spot me on, I'm going to do as many as I can of this weight, and on the last one that I failed,
Yeah, it just
I need
kinda
your
helped you
get-
then.
I need help getting it off of me.
But it's also, I'm never like struggling. Yeah, I'm like taking one hand and kind of pushing it up. It's never you're not like, can you grab these 100 pounds quick?
Has Megan ever spotted you, Ken, on a bench?
No. Heavens no. She would never allow it. That's why I just crushed my rib cage and
Excuse me, shoddy.
Yeah, don't say her
Shoddy.
like legal name. No.
Yeah.
The board welder said, I've been watching a lot of Alone on Netflix, which I haven't watched. But
No.
how do you think you'd fare in a survival situation? I think Alone is it's like reality. Like they take people out, drop them somewhere, and you have to
Cool.
survive, like by
I should
yourself.
watch that.
I am absolutely, utterly confident that I can handle any situation. So I just
Really? Like
Wow.
holes in your socks, you think you could like make it?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Emily doubts I can do anything, and I am
Well.
absolutely confident I can do anything. So
I feel I don't know what it
So
was.
probably dead within a couple days, right? That's
she's normally right.
I don't know what it was, but the other day I told you do something and you looked at me and I was like in his room and you still looked at me and I was like, where we keep the, and you like said, you did the eyebrow thing and I was like, the third drawer in the like it was something that we've lived here for 10 years and you were like, and that would be.
And it would be where?
And I was like, are you serious right now?
Look, we're not. It
was
is,
something
the
I feel like
question
we
is,
use
does
every day.
The question is not, do Emily and Ken think Ben could survive in a survival situation?
No.
Is how do you
Okay.
think you'd fare in a survival situation? And I am supremely confident that I would
overly
figure
confident.
it out.
Perhaps
Overly
harmfully
confident.
so. Yeah.
That is true. You always like run too fast in a marathon
You
and
would
then get
die because
tired.
you drank water from like an unreliable source because you're certain this is fine or something.
And
has to be
also, you would
okay.
be
Your,
dehydrated within
your
the
death
day.
would be sudden. I'm going to put it that way. You would do well until you suddenly died.
I'm not even
Ugh.
like I don't even need to list like what skills do I have that would make it so that I would be successful. I'm not even going to go there. I'm just saying I would be successful because that's just how I think about
You-
everything.
Wow.
I think I could like I would hate every second of it. I would barely make it, but I could probably get through it.
Yeah, I'm similar.
Oh, you
I
die right
wonder.
away.
Why
The
would I
biggest-
die right away?
You're a big wimp.
I am not. I feel like I've been in more situations where I've almost legit died and I've made
That's
it through.
true. You have like swam through freezing cold waters to save a dog.
And then I had to run back like multiple miles to the car in the
that's true.
I did that. I almost fell off a cliff that one time and
That's
caught
true.
myself.
You caught yourself at the edge of the cliff on
My
a,
legs
on a
were
shrub.
hanging off.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I feel like
That's real. She tripped and fell and slid down a hill until she was dangling off the edge of a cliff like Scar holding frickin' Simba. She was
Mufasa.
holding onto a shrub. Oh, yeah, Mufasa.
like he's just.
He yeeted Simba into the valley.
And when Potato, I almost said spaghetti. When Potato broke my leg, I had to walk back to the car like
Yeah.
a half a mile.
He's got
I feel like
resilience.
I've been in the situation.
That's true. You were resilient. When I broke my ankle, I just cried and rolled around
mean
on
when
the
you
ground until
rolled your
somebody came and picked me up.
rolled your ankle off like a curb.
No, when I was mountain biking and I fell off of a wood feature and my foot got stuck between two of the boards and my
ow.
body kept going until it went crunch.
Ooh,
And then I was just like laying there rolling around until somebody drove a car back and picked me up through the cross country ski trails.
and you think you could
Wow.
survive.
Yeah.
Every time I've ever been anywhere alone, I just cry the whole time. So
I'm not saying I
It
would
doesn't-
come out good. It would be where I barely, but I think I
Yeah.
could make it. I'm not going to be in great shape when I get out of that situation, but I'll be alive.
I think I worry
That's what I'm
about my own sanity. That would be the one for me.
That would be the thing that goes first. For
Lack of patience and ability to withstand the fact that this is just it for an unknown period of time. That would be I would go crazy, and that would be what got me. But I don't know what that timetable looks like. Could be 2 days, could be 2 years.
I also need to know like the sitch, because in my mind I'm just thinking about snow, just because if I've been outside lately, it's been snow, and in my head I'm like, God, it'd be so effing cold, and I've been in that situation where you're like, I am so cold, and you're trying to like talk yourself through like, we just have to get back to the car. It's not that far. And if someone was like, no, it's like 3 days of that, I think I'd like go crazy. So.
Well,
I don't know. I think we're all dead.
I don't know. Now I'm down myself.
Ben's answer, which he did not endorse, and that he dies suddenly due to something.
Like your
I
only thing to back
ford
that up
this
was
river, and then he just gets washed away. Right? That's how he would go. Yeah.
Right.
Can't be that deep.
I'm not saying I
Oh
know
my God.
I know my way through this. It's just I think I'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
Yep.
Yikes. And the last one is from, I don't know if you guys know this, Bilbo Laggins.
What's funny about this one is
Sounds like
this
a
wasn't even
dork.
submitted through Instagram. I just wrote this into the thing.
He says,
Into
what do
the
you
show
want to
notes.
play right now? Board game or video game?
What do you want to play right now? What do you guys want to
I've
play
been really
right
into
now?
video games.
I have also been into video games. I love looter shooters.
like every
looter shooters
winter,
are my
though.
Video
favorite
game
kind of
season.
video game.
It's
Yeah.
winter. Yeah.
Yep.
I want to play Rainbow
sorry.
Six. I want to play teeny Tina.
Tiny Tina.
Tony
Tiny Tina's
Dan.
Wonderland.
Tony Danza's.
Tony Danza's Tina's Tiny
we just-
Tina's Wonderlands,
There you go.
which looks great. I made a
Damn, what if Tony
secret
Danza's in it?
resolution not to buy a video game this year. We'll see if it works
Not to buy
out.
any video game this year.
Any?
No, I buy too many. Like, oh, it's on sale, and I'll get
But
to
why
it
don't
later.
you do like, I can buy 3?
Because
It
I
just
would
got
buy
changed.
3 right now.
Well, don't
And-
do that. Okay, how about you can only buy when we tell you to buy so you can play with us?
That's fair, because it's probably only going to be one game
Probably
a
only
year.
gonna be 1 or 2, so.
Yeah,
We still need to play more Outriders. We should play more Outriders until Tiny Tina's Wonderlands
it's
come out.
dead. When does
dead?
Tony Danza's Wonderland come out? March?
I don't know. Outriders just had a big free update, and they
Did
have
it?
an expansion coming out
I
soon.
don't know. We played though the other day, and I was like,
It's crazy. I don't understand what's happening in there. I did say to Emily when we were playing Outriders, why don't we play the Division 2 instead? Why don't we start characters at level 1,
Yeah.
Division 2? Because it's a cover shooter. It's a looter shooter cover shooter.
Oh,
Outriders,
Tongue Twister.
Tiny
And
Tina's
Danny
Tony
DeVito.
Danza's
right?
looter
The-
shooter cover.
Tutor.
A better
cover
looter
looter
shooter
shooter
cover
cooter?
shooter. Looter shooter cover shooter.
Did someone
A
say
be-
cooter?
But seriously, okay, Ken, back me up on this. A better looter shooter cover shooter is Division 2, right?
Then
Than
what?
Outriders. Than Outriders.
Yeah, but Outriders has the it's an exciting scenario, and it's out there and kooky and bingo
All right,
bongo.
so I'll play either one. I don't care. I just play either one.
Let's not buy anything until we get Tony Danza's Wonderlands. Right? We don't need to.
Right?
But this game looked cool. You sent me a video, and I was
It
like, I
did
thought
look
this
really
game
cool.
came out already. Was that a DLC?
It comes out in March.
Oh,
No, they
You
had
are
a
thinking
Tiny
of there is
Tina-
a so this is
there's
based
like a DL.
there is a
that's-
Borderlands 2 expansion about Tiny Tina's Dungeons and Dragons campaign. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But
Which
you
Ben
essentially
told me
get
we played this. I don't remember.
You
at
get
all.
transported. You're in Borderlands 2 with the guns and stuff, but it is in a like Dungeons and Dragons esque fantasy world. So now
Okay.
this is a standalone game. I'm assuming built
Just
in the
that.
Borderlands 3 engine.
I mean,
that
it
is
looks the
that.
same,
But all
yeah.
the
It's the same
classes
thing.
are like they're like mixtures between
Right.
like classic D&D class with Borderlands guns. So there's like Borderlands guns, but there's like a mage or there's like a paladin class and there's
Yeah.
like a rogue class. but they're mixed with like Borderlands loot. This looks cool.
Looks cool. And Borderlands has been around for a while, and it has looked the same for a while.
Yeah.
And we tried it.
The story of like the vault, I still don't know.
It has never made sense. It will never make sense.
They keep adding to it. Yeah, I think they were finally like, we need to like throw the vault to the side and start fresh. But it's the same kind of style,
looks cool, though.
Somewhat. But it looks
Want
good.
to play that?
What else? Is there anything else on your that you want to play?
I mean, I want to play the Dark Merchant game
Merchants of the
again
Dark
and stuff.
Road.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some board games, but nothing crazy.
I'm itching to play some stuff we got from Ryan James from the Gamecasters. So we borrowed Bitoku. Bitoku is a very beautiful, sort of heavier
really
Euro
good.
game. I really want to try Bitoku. He also Gamecasters 2021 Game of the Year, Hadrian's Wall, which he is forcing everybody to play so much so
forgot
that
he
he
sent
sent
it
us a
to
copy
us.
of Hadrian's Wall and said, you have to play this. So the next board game we're going to play is Hadrian's Wall.
Is that okay?
I'm not specifically like, I need to play Hadrian's Wall, but what I'm excited about board game wise right now is I'm just like loving to play. We have a bunch of new stuff that I want to go through our shelf of shame. I want to
you're,
take
like,
it out. I
going
want to
wild.
knock it out. I want to knock out. We have a couple games borrowed. I see At the Gates of Loyang, borrowed from Ryan Quinn. We got to knock that
Like
out. One
2
Small
years
Step,
ago.
borrowed from Ryan Quinn. We got to knock that out. We've never played Prodigal's Club. And I want to play Hadrian's Wall, and I want to play Bitoku, and I want to play Cosmic Encounter Duel. So
Prodigals Club, we have to honestly be like, and blow the dust. It's like, it's something you'd find next to the Jumanji game up in the attic.
Right.
Like it is.
right. So I always want to play new stuff. So to balance that out,
Yikes.
Emily and I switch off who picks.
You'll
And our
lose
rule is we play a game. As soon as we finish, we're putting it away. We immediately at that moment decide, are we going to play this again next? Did we have so much fun we want another shot at it? And if it is a new game,
think
we have
a
to
new
play
game,
it
we have to
twice
play at least
before we
twice.
ask
That
that
makes
question.
sense. Yeah.
It is a mandatory 2 plays before you are
'Cause
allowed
the first
to say,
game
I don't like this.
never actually know what the heck I'm doing.
And we do have
Yeah.
a couple of games I feel like that maybe need to hit that two play
Certainly.
thing,
Mm-hmm.
which like Res Arcana and Blitzkrieg are 2 games I would like to get out again to try again.
Those are like the same game, I feel like.
Well, they're
the
sort of like
same level,
2-player,
like,
quick,
Yeah.
sort of like, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm dying to play. I just want to play video games. I want to play looter shooters. I love looter shooters. And I also want to play Rainbow Six, and I want to play Rainbow Six Extraction. Ken, did you connect your Ubisoft?
I did not. No, I need to.
All you have to do is super simple. All you have to do
Tell me
is
now.
in Xbox,
I'm opening
just
it right
click
now.
like you're going to install Extraction, and it brings you to the web
It'll make you
page
sign
where you
in.
connect.
Yeah.
You got to sign into your Ubisoft account, and then in Ubisoft you own it.
All right. That's easy because that's PvE.
Easy peasy. It's like 3. I think it's 3.
Easy peasy PvE.
It's 3-player PVE.
Distractions.
I did hear some talk about tomorrow's
I'll have to find
Friday.
it.
Evan's already talking about Rainbow Six again. So
Oh,
Man,
shit.
boy,
Evan's on the wire.
we thought. Speaking of video games, we thought we were coming to the end of an age with the Warzone. The fires of Warzone burnt out, and then suddenly RB6, Rainbow Six Siege,
came out of nowhere.
rose from the ashes, and boy, cool game. Try it out.
I really like that we play it private. It's
Yeah, I
10
would not
times as fun.
play online. I
with
won't.
like
I won't do
experts,
it.
essentially. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, just whatever or whoever. I just love that every time we play, it's
Yeah.
whether the people on my team are my friends or the people I'm killing are my friends, and everybody's like goofing around, joking around.
Yep.
Like it's not,
Yep.
Yeah.
it's not, you know.
Well, it's once again that don't take things too seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, or take it too seriously and then not be able to get to sleep.
And then
that
don't
night.
talk to
Rage
anyone
quit
for the rest of the
and-
week.
Yeah.
Let's stick on the video game topic then. We have also been playing a little bit of Gloomhaven some more, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think that's the way to play that game. I don't mind losing in the digital version.
Though I don't know why. I think every single time my computer has.
Yeah, it's like melting when you're trying to play Gloomhaven.
I don't
Which
understand.
it shouldn't be.
Which is weird because it could play on anything.
Yeah, so I'm not.
Huh.
I don't know. The last time I tried to look up something, I opened up like Chrome, and that's when you were like, you froze right away, and I was like, seriously? Because I was trying to look up some like
Weird.
stupid actor or something dumb that from X-Files or whatever. But I mean, I would still take that over setting up a whole table, so I would probably continue.
Well, we lost twice in a row
Oh, yeah.
the other night.
As we do.
And we played a long time. It was probably 2.5 hours. But that's
Yeah, we did lose
twice
at the end,
as
didn't we?
fast as it would take you to play on the table.
Right. We would have played it once and lost.
Yep.
And that'd be done for the night. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if you guys want to watch us play, we typically stream when we play. So go check out Twitch or YouTube for
We
our
usually
saved playthroughs.
Stick in the stories too, saying that we'll
Yeah.
play. So if you kind of
We'll
watch
keep
those
going.
for the day.
We're not good. You know, we're not doing too great. Eventually, one of us is going to retire, and we'll get to start opening up some new fun classes that maybe we've never played. And we'll keep at it.
I've been kind of slow in the stories and the Instagram lately, but try to keep following us, and we'll try to update you when we do stuff.
I've been playing Gloomhaven on my own. I have another campaign that I'm running.
Yeah, Ben's cheating though, because he
Yeah.
has opened up the Gloomhaven box to see where things happen in missions. I'll see like
I needed to know which room
As-
Texera was in.
as if he's like looking at an old crime
So
scene.
actually cheating.
I come downstairs, the box is open, things are scattered on the floor like he's trying to find an old clue.
Yeah, he's
and then
mapping it out on the wall.
You know, the book is open. There's a red marker around it with an X on
Don't
Jexera.
judge me, please.
And then he's at the computer screaming at it. So he's legit looking as to where guys come out and this and that happens. And
As poorly as we do
All the
together,
mighty
I
have
think my
fallen.
win percentage alone is worse. So
yikes.
Well, you were saying it was something like 30%, which we do not lose that often on the computer.
Oh,
that
yeah,
sounds board game accurate. 30%. On the computer, I say we're at least 60, 70%.
I'll have to look.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're pretty good.
We
doing
do pretty
good.
well. We
Isn't
do
your
okay.
tank pretty high though, Ben? In your solo game?
In my solo game, I have a level 9 tank because
Oh,
I can't
man.
meet his
He's just
retirement
like-
goal.
he's doo, 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 doo.
He's not even halfway to his retirement goal. He's level 9, so he
Yeah,
can't
but
level up
he's-
anymore.
He's one of the best
He's
player
so good.
characters.
Yeah,
you
but I
can
kind of
be,
built
so-
him. I kind of built him bad.
You
I
can
feel
like switch them, can't you? Like cards and crap.
No, well, like as you level up, you can only pick one of the two, and I don't have any more levels up.
Man, so you effed it up.
Yeah, I'm kind of screwed up. I did though at the level 9. I picked the card that is kill one normal or elite enemy that's adjacent to you. Just kill
Wow,
them,
that'd be nice. Just be
Wow.
like done.
especially
Yeah,
because
but
like
for the
there's
tank.
at like the higher level, it was like, you know, there's an elite. I can't remember the kind of monster. There was like this elite monster had 17 health, and I was just like, and you
Wow.
die. It was just one
Wow.
shot. You're dead.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not.
The
at
problem
that.
with a 9th level Tinkerer who's stuck and cannot retire is that even if I bring in new heroes, they're playing extremely high level monsters all the time because it's the average level of your party, and I can't like get him out of there.
Yeah.
I need him to retire. And I just keep losing over and over again.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty trash.
I don't know what to say to that.
What a
Do you
sad
guys
story.
need a little break before we talk about what we've been watching, or should we just move right into it?
Sure, give me 1 minute. Super quick.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. We'll be right back. All right. This is the part of the show where I'm going to be quiet for a few minutes because I literally haven't been watching anything at all. Maybe I watched the first third of Hamilton with the kids the other day, and I've been trying to get them to
Yeah, but
finish
that
it.
doesn't count.
That doesn't count. Other than that,
Will
I
you
honestly
recommend
Where do you-
have not.
Hamilton?
Where do you watch Hamilton?
It's on Disney Plus.
Disney.
There's a
Okay.
recording of one
Oh,
of
that's
their
right, yeah.
stage performances. And I want to. I've never watched. I've listened to the soundtrack a lot, but I've never watched it. And But that's it. I mean, you guys, let me hear. Lay it on me. What have you guys been watching?
I was watching Yellow Jackets, which I think Megan watched this.
Yeah, I think she's done
Or
already.
part of it, yeah.
And it sounded cool.
It is so it's only 10 episodes. It essentially is like teenagers who are involved in a plane crash in 1996 when they're going to their soccer tournament, like in high school.
Oh, I remember you telling me about this.
Did I tell you about it? I don't remember. And the flashes between like them trying to survive after crashing and then them now. And it's kind of this thing where you're like, what the F happened? Because you only see so many people now. Like who survived, who died, what happened. But then also there's like creepy stuff happening. So there's little mysteries and stuff. I love it. It's great. It's fun.
So it was good. It was really good.
It was really good. But it's only 10 episodes. So by the time you get to the end, you're like, damn it. Like, because.
Yeah, but that's good. I mean,
well, that is good.
Keep it tight. Keep it short and sweet and.
But it's really good.
Nice.
I would recommend it if you like. There's a couple parts that are a little gory just because it's like it's a plane crash and shit goes down. But nothing like too crazy or gross or it's obvious when it's
Okay. Huh.
So
Cool.
But I liked it.
Where's it at? Where do I watch it? Is it Apple?
No, it's on.
Can't be Apple because we don't have Apple.
I have it through Amazon Prime, but it's like Showtime or let me look it up.
Oh, it's like you have a subscription,
to the thing
through
something else.
Okay.
Let me just look it up before I make up stuff.
We officially have too many subscriptions. I gotta take one or two out at least. Okay.
But Ken, how many X-Files have you gotten through now?
I think 7 now, and I am just loving it. Actually, the 7th one was the weakest I've seen, and it's the first time that the show feels dated, right? Because it's old, but they don't lean on CGI at all for the most part. So all the effects are pretty good, and when in doubt, they just don't show it. Right? If it's ever like, that. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think it holds up. The other aspect of it is, of course, Scully and Mulder have fantastic chemistry.
They got a little something for each other.
That show exists and did well because of those two actors, for sure. But the last one I watched was, not this one, the Jersey Devil episode, which everybody should go watch. I think it's episode 5 or 6. I can't remember of season 1, the Jersey Devil episode. It's not a great episode, but this clip that you're playing right now is hilarious to me.
I just love how he's flipping through it, and he looks like he's going to keep going, but he stops.
Wait a minute.
Does this Bigfoot have breasts? And then
he suddenly caught something on this. Like, there's not a lot going on in this drawing. You take it all in immediately.
Someone legit just outlined that photo and then was like bloop bloop and put. Yeah, that's it.
Well,
care to share what the Jersey Devil leads us to?
I'm definitely going to spoil it. So the basic plot line of the Jersey Shore episode is that
what's going on here?
There's some sort of creature around Atlantic City. I thought Atlantic City was Georgia, but that's definitely Atlanta, so I don't know my geography very well. Homeless people are being killed. Somebody loses an arm because of this supposed Jersey Devil, right?
Man.
And so Mulder comes in, is trying to figure it out. He confronts the local police sheriff who's trying to... He alleges that the local police source is trying to keep it downplayed so that people keep coming to the casinos. They want to party, yada, yada, yada. If it takes out a few homeless people, no big deal. And then somewhere in there, they find the body of the Jersey Devil. And doesn't show it, and Mulder never gets to see it.
What?
But the attacks keep continuing. And so Mulder goes out there, he puts on his trench coat, he pretends to be homeless for a night. He sees sexy Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
She's running around. then he goes back into the files, and that's when he realizes, oh my gosh, I had never conceived of a creature with breasts before.
Sexy.
Right.
A sexy killer.
What if it was just an absolutely bussin' babe who...
I like how that picture, though, is essentially a gorilla with
It's
big
a gorilla
boobs.
with
like,
boobs.
It's not in any way like you'd be like, oh, I confuse this person
Right.
who's a female for, but okay.
So then he pursues her and pursues her and pursues her, and then like she hits him over the head with a rock, and lo and behold, it's a beautiful woman. And then
my God.
she runs away, and sort of the overarching theme ties in that external government forces join the pursuit and they kill her. And he's all torn up because there was a male and there was a female. And I was like, well, wait a minute. Because they're like, oh, yeah, the coroner ID'd that the male is 40 and the female is 25. So they're not like supernatural, or these aren't. It's not Pauly Shore Encino Man. Nobody thawed these creatures out of ice. It's just like crazy people who lived in the woods, and Mulder's all sad about it, and then it teases, oh, there's a little baby in the woods over there. They had a baby.
Oh my God.
And that's it. It's not a very good episode.
Let me ask you this. I've never watched the X-Files. Is it always like that where it turns out it's not? It's not.
No.
No.
There are aliens
There are definitely,
and stuff?
No. 100% there are aliens. There are ghosts.
There's crazy shit.
And actually
monsters, creatures.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
The episode after the Jersey Devil is a really good one where it misdirects what the source of the paranormal activity is. And I don't want to spoil it because it's a genuinely good episode. Episode 6, I think. They're like, oh, this lady's doing stuff. And that's not the case. Anyway, episode 7 was really bad and dated because it's about a computer system that becomes self-aware.
Wow.
And it's from like 1994. And it's just, we've seen that storyline so many times since then.
So
and it's just like, it's just a computer. It's fine. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's not. It's
just
not that hard to stop. I feel like,
So I gotta watch some more. But man, it's really great. It's really fun, and it's creepy without
I should try
being.
to get Ben to watch it.
Sure, I'll do it.
If you guys listen,
we watched the first one, and
let's watch the second one.
The first one's a little weak. First one's a little weak.
I remember many when I was little, which I don't know why I was watching when I was little, but it was.
It was just on. Yeah.
George, stop it. Where there was one, no clue what season or this or that, but some sort of like creature monster that you would see always like, when you turn your flashlight on, it'd be like scurrying, crawling away kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I had to sleep at like, I don't know, some relative's house, whatever. And I was like, I am going to fucking die in the living room. Like I was scared, and everyone's like, good night, like turn off the lights, and I was like, that thing is gonna be creeping and crawling around.
Get it? It's already here.
I was so
Don't you get it?
Scared.
Don't you understand?
Weren't you people paying attention?
It's here. Did you even see it?
It's definitely where they're like, it was just aliens. Like that is the end of some of them. Like, it was just aliens, and like.
Or like,
whatever.
No, he got away. I mean, I guess maybe we'll do an episode again later.
Maybe he'll come back.
I feel like it gets crazier as the seasons get longer.
Well, I'm excited for season 2 because I think then they start to get money for it, right? They get the budget. The first one feels a little bit strained in terms of budget, but it's still rock solid.
It's like the Wheel of Time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. No.
They had a big budget.
Not big enough, apparently.
I bet they spent about $10,000 an episode on this show.
Yeah, this one is very. I mean, did you see that drawing of the breast of?
Do I need to pull that back up again?
Yeah. So, highly recommend it. I'm not kidding.
What do you watch it on? I know you told us the other day.
Hulu. It's on Hulu.
All right. We will watch the X-Files. I've never seen any of it. Ever.
You've seen one episode.
That's it, though. That doesn't count. Seeing the first episode of the first season does not count as having seen X-Files.
Very
well,
easily.
I'm curious how how you like it because there are definitely, we were talking about it in Gloomhaven. There are definitely episodes I remember as a kid
Yeah.
ingrained in my brain forever. And they show up and it's like I'm just vibrating.
It's like you're 7 years old again.
Yeah.
I remember there's one other one that I really remember, and it's some sort of, I don't know, ghost, devil, something. Like, takes this kid's at an amusement park, takes his, like, red balloon away, and he's, like, following it with his little brother, and he, like, sneaks off from his mom, and essentially his little brother gets, like, run over by something because of it. And they, like, the mom is, like, freaking out, and the kid's like, I don't know, I don't really care. Like, I just want my balloon. And in my head, I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I was... Yeah. Where they show, it's like when like an amusement park train comes around, the kid's like on the tracks or some crap, and a toddler gets like hit by a train.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And that's like the start of the show. And I remember that one like exactly how it went down.
Oof.
So there's some that you're like you said, Ken, you're like, here we go again. We're back.
Well, you're trying to. Okay, this is the perfect segue. I don't want to segue away from X-Files, but this is the perfect segue into the next thing I want to talk about. Unless you have more X-Files stuff to discuss.
No. Just go watch it.
You're talking about go ahead.
Good. I'm sorry, I'm running my mouth.
No. I'm
having the time of my life watching it.
So Olivia is 11, and her friends are obsessed with Tom Holland.
Oh my God.
Babe. Hunk.
Big fan.
Beefcake.
And they really like the new Spider-Man. So one of the things that came out of watching the new Spider-Man was we have to go watch all the old Spider-Mans because they've never seen them.
The Spider-Mens.
The Spider-Men.
Spider-Men.
So we started with the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies because I have watched those on a plane. I don't think Emily had ever seen them.
I knew kind of like what happened, but I had never watched them.
I didn't really remember what happened. And we could sit here and we could talk about them a little bit. All I can see in my head, I can't think of anything else from both of those movies, the two Amazing Spider-Man movies, other than Gwen Stacy's head hitting the concrete at the bottom of that clock tower. At the end of the second movie.
Makes.
Yeah. I didn't get there because the only thing, I think the second movie is garbage, with the exception of maybe that moment. I never saw it, so I don't know.
Jamie Foxx's Electro is so much better in the new.
He's
oh my God,
great!
He's
in
great
the new
in
one.
the
I
in the
hated
new one.
him in the old one,
but in the old one, it's
garbage.
So dumb.
I also hated that he was like. What else did we recently watch? Oh, Green Lantern. I hate
Was
when
he
it's
in
like
that? I feel like
no,
he
but I
could have
hate when
been
the
in it,
nerds are like bad guys because they're
Right.
like people don't see me, and then they become evil, and I want to be like, I don't feel like that would ever happen really much for the most part. But I mean, I guess there's some scenarios, but
never underestimate the power of
I hate
jilted
this like
nerd.
Nobody listens to him or nobody pays attention
Yeah.
to me to the point where when they're trying to help him, it's like he won't even listen. It just bothered me. It's frustrating.
But
it was also
that
really bad
scene-
animation.
Yeah.
And him talking was like, I'm going through a vibrator, like the whole
Right.
time. And you're like, please stop.
I think that for those two movies, though, Andrew Garfield and
Emma Stone.
Holland,
Emma
who you trying to
Stone
talk about?
as Gwen
Okay.
Stacy, I think he's a great
Fantastic.
Spider-Man, and she's an
Yep.
awesome Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, I like
and
them.
both movies, the plot of both movies is just trash.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like the
Yep.
two bad movies really did a disservice to two amazing characters. I thought
think
that they were
He's
really
a better.
good.
He's a better. Him and her are a better Spider-Man and Gwen Stacy than Toby and Kirsten Dunst are Peter
Oh,
Parker
yeah.
and
I would agree.
Mary
Yeah.
Jane.
Yeah,
For all
I
the
agree
love
with
those
that.
original ones get, I think he's better. I think she's better.
Yeah.
But you're right. The core, like, who
The
wrote those
storyline is-
movies?
I don't know who wrote those
Not good.
movies, but they suck.
Also,
Yeah.
it was Valerian. Is that his name? The
Yeah.
actor was
What was he in Valerian? No, he was
he's-
Valerian.
Yeah,
but
he's Valerian.
What the green? No, not the green.
No,
yeah,
he's
Harry
um,
Osborn.
He's Harry Osborn,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
He's a
I'm
Green
like trying to
Goblin,
think of too many
right?
movies and stuff.
We need Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, but then we need
Well, I also like Tom Holland though. Like I don't.
No, but what's his face? Who's from the other ones as Harry
Toby?
Osborn?
Oh,
Oh,
what's his name?
What's his name?
oh my God, I cannot.
James
think.
Franco. He got
James
canceled.
Franco.
Though, so
He
He
it's
was a
never
good
gonna
Harry
happen.
Osborn.
No,
It's
I
never
like
gonna
him
happen.
better.
Yeah.
It's never gonna happen now. He's like way
He's
too. I
out.
want him as I want to take a couple of characters from each movie and then
I like
make it
I like both of the Osborns from the Tobey Maguire
They're
movies.
both bad. Both James Franco and Dane DeHaan are bad. Both
Yeah, that's true.
renditions of Harry
But
Osborn
those
are bad.
those first movies were very like over the top comic booky goofy.
Yes. They were
Like,
going
on
for
purpose?
a certain
Who's a better Norman Osborn?
Oh, I think we all know.
Was there one in the
He like dies.
He
for
dies
a second.
right away.
right?
He's just like
okay.
some old white guy
Obviously it's
dying.
Willem Dafoe. Right?
Yeah, I think we all know it's like
Lighthouse.
he is like legit. Like his
The
smile.
Lighthouse. He is the lighthouse.
His smile is the Green Goblin. Like, he is so
Yeah.
scary. He doesn't even have to be in costume. You're like, oh my God, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But the movies were good. It makes me sad because it was a stupid storyline.
Yeah.
But they did good in it. And I knew what was going to happen at the end. I knew she wasn't going to make it because the movies have been out for
Which is
how many
like-
years.
But
And
it's crazy because
It just kind of sucked then. So the whole time I was like, I don't know. I'm not like happy they're, together. They're happy this because I know what it's just like disappointing.
I want, because of Doctor Strange's meddling, that now Andrew Garfield goes back to his universe and Gwen Stacy's still alive and we get another
Yeah, it's like
movie.
a slightly different,
In theory, you might get it.
which I'm hoping. Like,
Spoilers
I would be
for-
for that. I feel like people have to know by now that
I
all
would
three.
think. There it is.
Well, too bad.
Spider-Men's. No way
Did you guys
home.
all watch Spider-Men's?
Yeah. And each E in Spider-Men's is a 3.
I don't know. I
Right?
can't recommend those movies though.
three.
I can't. They're both of them
Garfield
are not
ones?
very
No.
good.
No, but I do.
No.
I did like
But
that. I
he's
now
a-
know the story.
He's a great Spider-Man. But you know what else? Like I like Spider-Man a lot, right? So
I can't tell
I
if you're
just
saying
like-
Spider-Man or Spider-Man.
I
at this
like
point.
I like Spider-Man
My
stories.
dad cannot pronounce like pillow or pen or milk or like I's and E's, and that's what you're doing right now. You're saying like Spider-Man. Like is it
Can't
plural
tell
or
if you're saying
singular?
Men or man.
I you know what I want to do seriously, and I borrowed your PlayStation and never did this. I want to play the PlayStation Spider-Man. That's another.
great.
If you talk about like
Great.
Okay.
there's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, the Andrew
Yeah.
Garfield Spider-Man, the Tom Holland Spider-Man. There's also the Sony Spider-Man.
You're
like
saying
there's so
men.
much in there. That's a whole nother story.
What you're
It's a whole
saying?
nother with all the villains and all the
Yeah.
Mary
It's a
Jane and
Sinister
all that
Six
stuff.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
And actually, if you're a real Spiderhead, the video game Spider-Man suit is one of the better new suits that he gets in terms of how it looks. With the
Oh yeah,
white
it looks
on it,
cool. I like it.
really cool. I like
Yeah.
that. Anyway,
Spider-Man.
I'm waiting for it to come to PC. Can it please? They did God of War on PC.
good luck, man.
All they
might
have
hold
left is Spider-Man. That's the
Yeah, but
only
they
thing they're
own
holding
it.
back.
movie and video game rights. I don't know if you'll ever see it. That might be the one they never release.
Ah, don't do that to me.
Yeah.
Don't.
Before I forget, you can Yellow Jackets is on Showtime, which I just did a
Showtime.
subscription
It's
through
through
Prime.
Amazon. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
But
Cool.
But you also get like a week free when you subscribe. So I mean, let's be serious. You could knock that baby out in a week, and then
Yeah.
if you
that's
truly
true.
don't want to pay for it,
You guys been watching anything else?
Yeah.
I have.
Last thing is Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett on Disney.
Book of Boba
Ooh.
Fett. Should we watch it?
Nope.
I haven't started
Don't waste
it.
your time.
Really?
total waste
of-
How could it be
it's-
bad? But The Mandalorian is so good.
And that is exactly
That's what they're
what you will
hoping for.
say after you watch it. You'll say, "What happened here?"
How
Because
could it be bad?
well, first of all, did we really need this show? I would
No.
say that
No.
we didn't. We needed Mandalorian season 3, right? But
Sure.
he's got stuff going on, I guess.
Sure.
Like,
okay.
I guess.
It's filler. It's filler in every sense of the word.
It's
And
disappointing.
there's a few nuggets in there that are cool, but they have nothing to do with Boba Fett. And it just makes you wonder why they made this show. I don't get it. I don't know.
I guess
I don't recommend it. I wouldn't waste your time.
Now I feel like I need to watch it even more.
You need to watch one
I need to know
episode just
why.
to be like, oh.
It's filler on top of filler. It suffers from Star Wars like obsession with filling in all the gaps. Like he came in Mando season 2. Boba Fett came back sort of gloriously.
I didn't need that explained. Sure, he's just there. That's fine with me.
That's all this season is explaining how he got to that episode of Mandalorian.
Yeah, sometimes I don't want to know that. Like, that's
totally
why.
unnecessary.
Yeah.
You know what I do want to watch is The French Dispatch, the newest movie from...
Yeah?
What
the
the heck
French
is his name?
Dispatch?
Oh, Wes Anderson?
Wes Anderson.
That's because I sent you a Wes Anderson thing the other day, and you were like, oh my God, we need to watch this.
No, it was funny that you sent me a Wes
never even heard
Anderson
of
thing
that.
because I've been wanting to watch the new Wes Anderson movie.
Ben loves.
This one is even
Wes.
more Wes Anderson than previous Wes Anderson movies, to the
Wes
point that
Anderson went over the top.
everybody is like not even acting naturally, right? They're like all just acting in some sort of time and beat.
It's all the straight on and then
It's all
overhead
that,
shot
and
of
they're
what
just
they're
like
bringing
everything
in their bag.
moves like
Almost like
in
a
beat,
song,
and
right?
It
Or a
is.
machine.
Exactly.
I love
The
it.
whole it is such a it's just such a magical filmmaking experience.
I would love
want
to be
watch
on the
it so
set
bad.
because I feel like the set is honestly like a 4-story building where there's no walls on the outside, so that they could just like pan the camera around.
Right.
Like that has to be.
Speaking of Willem Dafoe, we were watching The Life Aquatic. He's in there.
And I fell asleep in that one, but that's because I think I was on pain meds for my legs. so.
Anyway, I want to watch The French Dispatch. The next, if it's possible to get the movie into our house to watch, I want to watch The French Dispatch.
we can do that.
really
We can
bad.
do that.
But I like Wes Anderson movies, and this one is like him taking it to another level.
Even bad
Very
Wes
good.
Anderson movies are generally okay.
Right? What was the Grand Budapest Hotel? That one was.
That one was good.
That was.
Was that the one with the
Enjoyed that
train?
There's a train in some part of that movie.
Yeah,
I think.
there's also
The
a
Train to
in,
Busan? Or no, that's definitely a different movie.
what's the one before that? With like the Cub Scouts. Was that
Moon something Kingdom, Moon River Kingdom, Moonlight
Rise
Kingdom.
or something?
I
or-
love it.
that
when
one
they-
was also.
I love when they do the talking to camera, but standing straight onto camera, but really far away shot.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it zooms way in when they have to say something important.
And then they're like, "This is what we're bringing in our bag," and it's like an overshot of like the table and everything's laid out.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
crackers.
And then
It's so
the next time they show
good.
them, they're in a new location with that bag, and they're like, "Let's go," and then turn. Or
Right.
what? Like, yeah, that's. And we just described.
I wonder
Wes
how many
Anderson.
takes he does, or if is just do one. Just let's go. All right.
That probably
and then
is
we
it.
have to-
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so good though.
All right.
Do you have a would you rather?
Do you have a would you rather?
I do. I just need to.
I don't.
need to
Was
get
I
mine
supposed to
up.
bring one?
You're always supposed to bring a would you
I
rather.
can make one
you
up.
have?
I can
you
make
have
one
two,
up.
Don't even show
You
up
have two
that-
would you rather's worth of time to think of a would you rather.
I can make
this
one
is
up
my book
based
of
on
would you rathers here.
X-Files content.
Do you have a book of would
I have
you
a book of
rathers?
would you rather's that I've come up with. Anytime I think of a would you rather, I write it down. Here's my would you
Seriously?
rather list. It's quite short.
It's like two things.
It is very short.
Book.
All right. Emily's birthday is right around the corner, and it made me think of this would you rather. This is a question for all three of us. Would you rather have a birthday party
That sounds like you're just trying to figure out.
or a
whatever.
birthday date? So do you want a birthday like dinner, a date, or in home, out of home, or whatever, but it's just like you and your spouse or a small
Sure.
thing? Or do you like to have a birthday party?
Do I know about the party?
You know it's not a surprise.
Thank God. Probably a probably a date. But that's I would rather nobody remembers my birthday other than a few close people, and that's it. I hate like when people call on my birthday. I want to be like, please don't call me. You're like, that's ruining my birthday right now.
People call you on your birthday? Wow, must be nice.
It's not. So
No?
I would rather.
Not a fan.
Then it's like I have to talk to them. I just would rather not. So probably just a date.
Nice. Okay.
I guess if I know about the party, that's different than someone like planning and then. But date probably overall.
A quiet sort of like private celebration.
Yeah.
Okay. Ken, what's your
Can
preference?
I pick sort of like middle of the road? Can I do
Sure,
party, but
absolutely.
it's like 10
There's
people
no rules
max?
here.
Yeah. Right. If
Oh,
I'm gonna have
well,
a
it's
party,
not
it's gonna be small.
I guess that I didn't say that, but I would never have like a big party, like a
Right.
like a
I
shindig.
have no interest in that. No.
Yeah.
I want,
No, that's.
That sounds.
I'd have more
I
fun
just
with
meant,
10
like,
people than with 40.
Are you going out to dinner with your wife, or are you having your best friends over for an evening?
We're
of
having
whatever?
friends over. She
Yeah.
doesn't want to spend time with me. She doesn't want to
Right.
go on a date with me. We're having friends over. Come on.
Well, see, that's the thing. If it was like 2 friends, I could handle that, but I don't want like a big.
Right.
You know.
Now, I don't expect anybody to remember it's my birthday at all. And like you said, I don't
Oh, I thought
necessarily.
you were saying like it was right now, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
it's not.
No,
But
I
it
don't
is.
need. I don't
And
need anybody to
I
come
got
up and.
you.
I don't want anything to. I don't want anybody to do anything for me on my birthday.
No.
But I want to use my
No.
birthday as an excuse to have people. I like to have
Yep.
a birthday party.
Yep.
They don't
Yeah.
need. I don't need to even say it's because of my birthday. But I like to use
just
it as an
having a
excuse
party.
to have
Yeah.
a party.
Yeah.
Get that.
Yeah.
Like that's my birthday present to myself. Is I'm going to throw a party and people are going to come to it.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you have a summer birthday, which makes it nice and easy too.
It's always fun.
So, wow. Okay.
True.
Everybody loves it.
Big fan.
Okay. Would you rather have a world that has spiders that have long abdomens and slither like snakes? So think of like a snake body kind of, but maybe I guess that's kind of like a centipede.
Like a centipede? Yeah. Okay.
But I'm thinking like more slithery.
sure.
Or snakes that are like small, kind of like spiders could be, and they could like build little like houses or webs in your house
Ooh,
like a spider.
I don't care for that. Whatever the first one was.
No,
That's
I don't
easier to kill.
know. I feel like I'd rather have.
Have you seen a centipede though? Like a big one?
I don't
Yeah.
want giant snake spiders. I'd rather have tiny
Tiny little snakes.
spider snakes. Wait,
That makes
snake spiders?
Spider
Spider
snakes
snake.
would be
I don't
the right
want
one.
giant spider snakes. I want tiny snake spiders.
Yeah, I think I'm taking that too.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
The
Huh.
other ones could get at you so quick. Like imagine if they're like and like just coming at you. Ugh.
Huh.
I had
You
to cross off.
out your would you rather.
I crossed off the one I did. So
Just so
Snake
you don't do that
spiders.
one again.
All
I
right.
think I'm going. I'd rather find a tiny snake in my house and be like, oh, and just
it would just be
That's it.
another kind of bug. But a giant spider creature
Some
slithering
sort of,
around.
yeah.
I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
I don't like
From
anything
What
like that.
was that?
That's
Episode
terrible.
2 of Star Wars where Padme gets spider snaked? Snake spider?
Yeah, but that's like an
Something.
assassin. That one.
still.
That's
It's
just
like a centipede assassin. He was hired to kill her.
a
Best
sentient
is if I have
centipede.
like
He gets chopped in half.
if I
There's
tell
two of
Ben to like move a big toad, you and toads outside is always
Hey, creepy crawlies. I'm not.
What does that mean? He doesn't move the toad?
no. He sits there going like getting
Well, toads
close
are
to
weird
it.
because they
and
jump, right? Because it'll sit there like a
They always
rock.
poop on you.
Yeah, they do poop
I just
and
feel like
pee
I
everywhere.
would much rather grab a toad or frog compared to like
Well,
some
sure.
sort of weird bug.
But if I can avoid it altogether, all the better
Yeah,
for it.
it's always the big toads that I'm like, oh look, one got stuck under the something, and then
Yeah.
Ben pretends to be like really good about it, and then freaks out and screams.
What do you want me to say?
Okay.
Nothing.
I hate
got my would you rather.
by the way.
Would you rather be trapped in the forest being hunted by a well endowed Jersey Devil female, or
All right. Okay.
you live in the city, but you're perpetually haunted by the ghost of your former employer who doesn't haunt you, but it attacks people who confront you?
Well, can I ever get away from the Jersey Devil?
Sure, if you kill it.
Oh shit!
I
Or
don't
if you
know.
marry it, I guess.
I-
like Mulder would have done.
The question is like, do I want to be hunted or haunted?
Yeah, but the haunted
Yeah.
isn't. It's one thing to be haunted, but it's like attacking other people, right?
Then I feel like if it's attacking
very
other people,
aggressive. It's very aggressive.
Oh man, I
if
don't
it's
want to deal
attacking
with
other
that.
people, now all of a sudden it's my problem. I have to solve for the sake of the
Exactly.
people around me.
Exactly.
The being hunted, I don't have a say.
And remember, well endowed.
Right. I still don't see how that plays a role. Like,
Well,
Well,
just got to
things
consider
might come
everything.
up.
somebody obviously thought it was important. It was included in the. In case anybody's
show
forgotten,
notes, or are we gonna
Let me
bring
go
it up
find it
again?
again.
I don't want to be haunted in my like safe zone home location.
Well,
I guess I would rather be
you're
like
definitely being haunted in your home.
I would rather it's a one time,
Right. So
like
this
I can
thing-
hopefully escape from that.
This is what's chasing you.
This
That would be
brick house
scary.
is coming after
Look
you.
at its thighs, like
Right.
Yeah,
well,
it's thick.
it's
well,
it's
no,
not
this is
chasing
not
me
it. This
slow.
is not the part of the would you rather, because that thing would maul you. That thing would crush you with its thighs. No doubt. It's a 20-something woman with hair with leaves in her hair.
I'm gonna take my chance with that. That I can
going
get
in the
away from
forest.
that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think
Rather,
so,
I don't
too.
want to constantly every day be like, is it back there, and like freaking
Like
out
it's-
at home.
Well, and
like
it
it's
never
like-
touches you, the ghost. It never.
Yeah, but that's. Then you can't have friends over. You can't have those birthday parties you guys wanted.
That's true. All you got to do is make it out of the woods.
does make it much harder because I think if you had just said, like, if you had said, do you want to be hunted or haunted? I don't think I want to be haunted. I think that's too scary for me. Like a hunt, I feel like is a competition.
That didn't make more
Well,
sense.
hunt. You at least to some degree control the elements in front of you,
I'm
right?
hoping
Yeah,
at
right.
one point too,
When
I
you're
can
being
like.
haunted, it's like what
do
you
you
might as
want me
well
to
put me
do?
2,000 feet under the ocean. Like
Yeah,
I don't know
I
what to
don't-
do.
There's no escaping this. It's just
Yeah.
like, and I guess it'd be like wouldn't be so bad if it was like funny, like he pops out of like your breakfast bowl, and it's like who gets who,
Is this
and you're
something
like, oh
you
gosh, I'm so
premeditated?
tired of
Have
this.
you like thought about like how? would I
Like, are
want
you
to
talking
be
about like
haunted?
one of the like Casper brothers or
the
uncles
Stinky
that's like,
Boys or whatever?
yeah,
they
who
are?
are just always behind you, like making fart noises? or
Yeah,
something?
like, but what if it was like paranormal activity, like invisible and just like bothering
no, F
you?
that. I don't want to
And
constantly.
only
be
when you're
scared
trying to
death.
sleep. It only ever
Why
shows
did
up
they
when you're trying to
always
sleep.
continue to sleep in that room though?
Where are you gonna go?
I never saw that movie.
The ghost comes with you.
Go anywhere
Oh man,
else.
you've never watched Paranormal Activity.
No.
I'm not saying you should go watch it, but
I'm not
that,
gonna. Don't worry.
That was some. That
I'm
scared
good.
me, man.
That was scary at the time.
And it was like weird stuff was. Remember, weird stuff was happening. So then they didn't they put like cornstarch on the floor? And
Yeah,
then
they
there
put
was
like flour, and
footprints
then
showing
there's
up?
weird footprints. Which then I'd be like,
We
we're
gotta
done.
go.
We're out.
We're out
yeah.
of here. I don't care if I'm like living with my brother, my mom, whoever. We're done.
Yeah.
Instead, they're like, we can't leave, and you're like, I feel like you could. Like
I-
you could walk out the door.
You could
I
figure
think
it
it's
out.
that like I don't know how to overcome a ghost, but like I feel like
You could
back to-
tussle.
can I surf-
You could
yeah.
tussle with.
if there's something like I'm being hunted and I gotta like
You could
I gotta
tussle with
win
that
this battle,
280-pound, big-breasted creature.
right? Like
I don't know.
we're
I'm
wrestling
hoping I
over
can just like
grabbing.
outrun it and hide and climb a tree or some crap. But I'm not wrestling.
I'll just
that
get broken
beast.
in half by that monster.
It would pick you up and just crack you in half over its leg.
Yeah.
Snap me
Nope.
like a twig. That's what I tell her.
Get it over with. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, those are pretty good.
All right. Does that bring us to the close, I think, of this episode?
I think
it
so.
does. Okay. So that ends episode number 38 of the Late Night Dice podcast. Go check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Twitch. We're streaming Gloomhaven. We're streaming D-List episodes. We're having all kinds of fun. Speaking of D-List, we will be streaming a live D-List Thursday. This comes out on Monday. So Thursday of this week, we'll be
We
talking
haven't
about
thought of
something.
one. We need
will have to-
something.
Yeah,
we'll
we need
discuss
to
outside of this podcast what we're
figure
going to
that
watch. And until next time, for Ben M. and Ken,
From the Date Night Dice Studios.
the Day Night Eye Studios, we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.